Woo! Smackdown is over. Let's see. Hello, everybody. Give me light, Lord. I got batter on my face. Oh my God. So embarrassing. All right. I got it off. I think. It's fucking batter on my face. Okay. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Hi. If no one's in here, yes, I have people. Hello. Hi. Let me put up my ticker banner. Okay. Let me just put my background up. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm almost done. And then we gonna kiki like we always do, family. How was everybody's day? Did you guys enjoy Smackdown today? I did not get to watch. I hear Carmella got a nice little black man servant. Mm, that's interesting. But we finna talk about it as usual. Okay. My face bleeding again, y'all. My bad. Oh, let's go to the comments. Hello, she had an entrance and everything. How was the match with Carmella and Sasha since we're talking about it? Let's talk about it. My face is bleeding. Oh, she kept the code of silence. Good for Carmella. That's good. That's a good submission. So I'm glad she kept it. Anyways, yeah, I don't know how I feels about the servant, but go off. Yeah. Yeah. I think that that this wasn't the time to put a black man in as his white woman's manservant. But I mean, okay. I ain't gonna judge it too bad. I'll wait to see how it play out. But if we start seeing some motherfucking slave, shit where she start beating him up or smacking him around, oh bitches' heads are going to roll. Do you understand me? Her alone. Just be like, hold please. So I hope y'all enjoyed SmackDown. I saw Roman get real spicy with KO today. I saw a piece of that. I didn't get to see everything. Um, but of course, everybody is setting up for um, TLC. So, what else happened? Who won between Montez Ford and Dolph Ziggler? Did Ziggler win that match? Because I think they're gonna drop that title to Ziggler. I'm very scared that they're gonna drop that title they're gonna drop those tag team titles to Ziggler and Bubbles and Bobby's Rude. Hold on, y'all. Okay, let me record on my phone because I'm trying to charge it. Oh, bitches be in my shits. So now I can't charge my damn phone. That makes my life very, very difficult. Bianca versus Bailey next week is main event worthy. Mm, yeah, I mean, um, anything Bianca and Bailey is in is main event worthy from my perspective. But sure. Oh, Dolph won. Okay, I figured he would have won. So Dolph beat. Well, did Biggie beat? Yeah, she got natural hair. Good for her. Did Biggie beat Sami Zayn tonight? I don't know if I like her real hair too much. I just wanted her. Oh, he got counted out. That's interesting. Hmm. Count out. I wonder why they counted him out. Like, I mean, who? I wonder why they planned that kind of finish for the match. I guess with Sami Zayn doing all the tricks he's been doing in matches lately. I guess, and it's funny sometimes, but I feel like Sami could, do better. Like Sami's a great wrestler and he doesn't always have to have the trickery and all that BS. Sami's a really good wrestler and he pulled out all the stops at the tail in that ladder match, which he should have. It was a ladder match, but in regular matches, I feel like Sami should just go in. You know what I'm saying? Like Sam. Let me talk to you right quick, Sam. Like you're not a bad wrestler, my G. You one of the best. Get your ass out there and wrestle. Stop with all the bullshit ass trickery and getting people counted out so you don't have to wrestle. Like, come on, fam. It's funny. I'll admit that, but it don't have to be that way when you are an actual wrestler and you're a superstar. Those kinds of things work for people like Miz, and it's no shade, but we all know that the Miz is not the greatest wrestler. So those kinds of little innuendos, trickery type of matches or trickery type of moves work out in his favor because he's that kind of slimy ass character. Plus, he doesn't have the skill to be as great as you are in the ring. So, from my perspective, Sami doesn't have to do that. Even though it adds to his character, I'm all for that. But at the same time, it doesn't have to be that way. He can really, really utilize his strength, which is his wrestling, and bolster that and make good matches. And even if on occasion it has a wonky finish, I'm okay with that. But every championship match or every bout he gets in has a wonky finish. And that's upsetting because it doesn't have to be that way. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to go that way. Hold on a second. 1 second. I'm being hailed. When you do a protective zone, how long do you leave it in? About a week. Depends on the style. All right, so Carmella hit Sasha in the back with a wine bottle. I like Sasha and Carmella feud so far. Have no fear, Nene is here. Hi, Nene. So I knew what you meant. Oh, she hit her in the back with a wine bottle. Oh, okay, cool. I mean, let me tell y'all something about Carmella. I give Carmella a lot of shit, okay? But the reality is, Carmella is an amazing heel character. She always gives you all of it. And one thing about Carmella that always set well with me was that she was able to speak on the microphone. She ain't never missed her words. I don't have a problem with Carmella as a character, but inside of kayfabe, I can't stand her bougie with her bougie thin hair ass. I can't stand it. Okay. So I'm gonna go at her neck. But when looking at it from a realistic standpoint and just looking at the story at face value, if I'm analyzing it, I respect what Sasha brings to the table. Sasha is forcing that she's forcing you to just be, you know what I'm saying? You gotta hate her, and she's making you do that, which she's doing her job. And never negated the fact that Carmella does do her job. What I don't like about Carmella on occasion is that she relies heavily on particular moves, and when she wrestles, it can be a little blasé, and it's like, girl, give me something because you're better than this. When Carmella debuted originally, I was not feeling her. But when homie came up with the code of silence, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. What is this? That's cute. I like that. I just want her to be her best self. Is that too much to ask? That ain't too much to ask. Oh, okay, I'm glad y'all on my side. I'm glad you're on my side. Hey, T2. You you was having a little trouble yesterday. I was live the whole time, and he was like, "Wait, this is live? Yes, yes, we live, or we was live yesterday. You wasn't you. We just had the skibbity pap with you because you just you weren't all the way here." I was like, "Oh, Lord have mercy, this poor child. This child I lost his way, Lord." Anyways, Janae said, I heard some, or I say, I heard and saw some clips on SD, low key skibbity pat. Okay, so if you hear me say skibbity paps and she came in like a superhero. Yo, so some of my friends that I got real close to, I watch Tony Baker a lot. If you've never seen Tony Baker, he's got a YouTube channel. He always reviewing movies, but he also has an Instagram and a TikTok and a Twitter. And he does a lot of the voiceovers for cat videos and stuff and all types of animal videos. And that shit is funny. And he's always be talking about the skippity pap. So every time something stupid happens, or you be real confused to confused to write it, or you just like, girl, who you be like, I just tell my friend today to just be like, girl, skippity pap it. Just so if you hear me say that, child, can I go live with you whenever you open up the floor? Hopefully there's no echo. Yeah, I'll let you in. And I'm on my phone this time, so there shouldn't be no issues. But even my phone give you problems, so we shall see. All right. So from what I hear, SmackDown was solid. KO gave his speech in the ring. He had a monologue. He talked about, Roman and his big headedness. Okay, cool. He talked about Roman and his big headedness and how he's been tripping a lot lately. And he's right. I mean, hold on, y'all. Like, no shade, but I saw what Roman did to KO. Somebody posted the clip of the shit, and Roman pretty much was like, "Hey yo, talking to Kevin Owens' wife was like, control your husband," and then told his kids to talk to their dad. Either you take care of them, or I will. All motherfucking. I was like, you mad disrespectful, bro. Like you mad disrespectful. I'm just like, hey yo, I'm all for you, living your best life, but shit. Kevin Owens better get some get back. I'm telling you right now. Cause there ain't no way I'm gonna let another grown man say some shit about me or speak to my wife. If I was a man and my wife is sitting up here and you decide the best thing for you to do is to talk to my motherfucking wife in the camera about some shit that ain't got nothing to do with her, nigga, I'll beat your ass. Bitch, I will beat your ass. And that's on everything. Like, you trying it, bro. Like, the fuck is wrong with you? They ain't like, I know you ain't talking to me about my motherfucking wife. You ain't gonna bring my kids in. I ain't bringing none of your kids in here. Shoot, not now one of them. I ain't talking to now one of your children. Don't do me. Do not do me. Let me put some on my lips. I think I got some lip gloss up here or something. Anyway, all right, Roma, you stepping out of line, bro. You better get your motherfucking self together before you get slapped, bitch ass. Shit. I just slapped the dog shit out of Roma. And then I went back there and slapped Paul Heyman's thick ass around just for fun. Like, man, you better get your family before you get fucked up around here, nigga. Like, I was straight up bullied that nigga. I'll be talking about my shit, my nigga. Anyways, ooh, broke my nail. Anyway, so I just want to know for a consensus thing, like, did y'all enjoy SmackDown? Was it a good show? Is it something that I definitely need to watch? Y'all let me know. Hey, Jamarius, you didn't miss anything. I'm tired of seeing Jay getting his ass whooped. Jay got his ass whooped again today. Again. I had to put some lip gloss on, y'all, because my lips is dry. And maybe if I watch, who put him through a table? If Roman did, I'm finna read his ass for Phil. Oh, KO did it. Okay. That's not bad though, drama. Like, I mean, Kevin putting him through a table makes more sense than Roman doing it. So I get why you tired of seeing it because it's happening every week. But I understand why it happened via KO, right? Did anything else happen? What about Corbin? Did his two goons come back out there again? With his bald headed ass, Corbin get on my damn nerves. Sorry, my lips was girl. He got glitter in it. So anyway, so yesterday I tried to have a conversation about the wrestling, but people was not trying to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna try to have that conversation today. I refuse to talk about it. Okay, fam. Okay, if you don't want to talk about it, I got you. But damn, she said probably. I don't know. Didn't watch it. Well, let's talk about something else then. If SmackDown wasn't a pretty solid show, at least they continued on with the feuds that they had and they made sure that everybody knew was like, into what was going on. So it seems a consensus online that SmackDown was a pretty decent show. And I'm okay with that. And SmackDown usually is a decent show. So I'm fine with that. Good for you, SmackDown, for keeping everything, continuous. And I hope y'all finally stop playing and make Adam Pearce the general manager. First order of business. Next year, in January, tell everybody that Adam Pearce is a general manager and then make Pat Buck the general manager of Raw. Tell everybody that these two men are running both shows. Just give us that. Let them be on-screen characters because they already are. Y'all already call them WWE officials and all that other crap. Okay, an official can still be a general manager. So make it happen, Captain. We ain't got all day. All y'all got to do is just put them damn people up there. Y'all already pay them. They're already seen on television. Just make them GMs. Okay? Just do that, honey, please. All right. Number 2. Second order of business. After TLC, the focus is going to be Royal Rumble. Okay? And the curiosity of Royal Rumble is how that's going to play out with COVID. Now, if you don't have your ear to the streets and you're not sure what's happening with COVID-19, really more so with the presidency, the reality is the GOP is still challenging the results of the election, therefore stifling Joe Biden and everything he's trying to put into place to help further the COVID-19 vaccine being pushed out. And my assumption is they want the vaccine to be completed underneath President Trump's presidency. So he has that as his biggest claim to fame, even though he caused the widespread of the pandemic in the first place. Anyway, so that all is happening, which in turn affects all of us. That affects small businesses, massive businesses, and it stops you and I from going to these live shows and seeing the wrestlers wrestle. So you would have to ask yourself, how is Royal Rumble going to play out this year? How is WrestleMania going to play out this year? Because there's so much going on. And then with the pandemic spreading and getting worse during the winter months and subsiding somewhat during the summer months, it makes life a little bit more difficult for them to gauge what to do and how to conduct themselves when it comes to these massive events that they usually are able to put on without a hitch. So now they are stationary in one area in Florida. And you know, Florida, just like Ohio, is a hot spot because we got dumbass people who don't want to wear their fucking mask when they go outside. And if you see this video and you're mad, don't be mad, bitch. Just wear your mask. Okay? Do you think Royal Rumble will be theatrical? I would be down for it. So you mean like a cinematic type of Royal Rumble? That is very possible. Actually, I didn't even think of that, but it is actually very possible, and it's probably, I mean, similar to the way Money in the Bank was cinematic, and that was like literally the only match that was cinematic. Um, yeah, that is very possible. Either that or the Royal Rumble is still gonna have the entrant thing, but they're gonna have like the half the ring emptied out by the time the other half of superstars are coming in. There won't be a massive amount of superstars in the ring at one time. You know what I mean? So that's actually a very good question, and I don't know how that would work out, but I would love to see it. I mean, I wonder how they would actually do that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, thanks, AT2. He's like my bro sis. Love you. So that's actually really cool. It would be cool if they did it right and it played out awesome and it just looked amazing. Like I would really like to see what they would do with that. Like I loved Money in the Bank this year. I thought Money in the Bank was fun and cute and campy. And I'm interested to see if they will do it cinematic style. Because if they do, that's very interesting as to how they would do that. Like they could very well do it to where similar to the way they did Money in the Bank, where they fight in like Titan Tower and then they just move forward from there, you know? Or they should have two rings like War Games. See, the thing is, NXT is exclusive to NXT. They will not do that. They just won't. It is exclusive to them. And to not step on NXT's toes, they're just not gonna do it. Which I'm fine with. Out of respect for them, I'm totally okay with that. I have no issue with that. Now, speaking about he spelled my name wrong. Oh my gosh. Speaking of TLC, so as of right now, I see some matches being solidified. If they haven't been announced or if they were announced on SmackDown, y'all let me know in the comments if they were, because I did not get to see SmackDown, unfortunately. And I'm finna let Janae in a second and she can talk to you too. But anywhoosies, but she didn't watch it either. So I don't know. We just gonna vibe, I guess. Anyway, oh girl. I have to get my purse up. So here's the thing. TLC has Sasha and Carmella for the SmackDown Women's Championship. They have Roman and KO for the Universal Championship. They have Drew and AJ Styles for the WWE Championship, but I suspect that Sheamus is going to be added to that match. You know what I'm saying? She said it's a sloth. You put a sloth in there? Hello, Aaliyah. How are you? So, I suspect they're gonna add Sheamus to that match. If they don't, I think they should, because that to me, there's just no. I'm gonna be honest. There's no chemistry to me between Drew and AJ Styles. I don't know exactly what the issue is, but oh no. I don't care for AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre, but if they do go with the singles match, then I would have to see it in order to truly gauge it. But I want them to add Sheamus to that match for some reason and really make it about, like, I want it to be a true bout. You know what I'm saying? So I am awesome. Thank you for asking. I just got done baking a whole bunch of cakes. Like I have a bake off that I have to do this Sunday, so y'all send me your prayers. But I love it. I'm gonna do this bake off and I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win because I got a cheesecake that I'm entering into this contest that's gonna blow the goddamn judges away. So I'm gonna win. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not feeling Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles. It's no shade to AJ and it's no shade to Drew because y'all know I love me some Drew. Okay. But I just feel like it wouldn't be, it would, I feel like it just wouldn't snap the way that it could. And I really want Sheamus in there to shake things up a bit, to add some pizzazz and some real, some conflict in there because there's nothing between AJ and Drew. There's nothing other than AJ Styles being a little wussy running around with Jordan. Hold on, I sent it copy to the clipboard. Did I copy it? Good, good, good. I'll post it in here. Hold on a second. No, it's not off topic. You're good. Let me see something. 82 didn't even teach me how to use the shit. He just left me to my own devices, old petty ass. He didn't even try to teach me how to use it. He just left me to my own devices, honey. He was like, "Well, bitch, get into it. Like you gonna do it, then you might as well do it." I'm like, okay, shit. The least you could have done is gave me a little bit of information, a little something. Let me see if y'all can. Hi, Sasha. She said, "Don't, don't tell those lies." Oh, thank you, Ali. I appreciate it. Oh, that's not a lie. That's facts. That is facts. Let me see if you can see it. Okay, hold on. Hold on, girl. Hold on, Janae. I gotta send it in the group chat. So, because I don't want to exit out of here and then. See what I'm saying? I went dark. I don't know how to share from my phone. I can only do it from my laptop. I know, baby. It's cool. I know what to do. I have to like go to my YouTube and see it, and then I will share it. It's cool. So hold on a second. Give me 1 second. Alrighty then. So Janae, go check the chat. Go check the chat. It's in the chat. I posted the link in the chat, so you should be able to come in there. I don't know why they don't just let me. You all send this link to Yes Me. I want to share instructions for your guests. They're so weird. Okay, so let me go. So Sami says, Sami gets on my freaking nerves. How do you wear horrible gear and have horrible hair like somebody has to tell him? I don't know. I mean, he's okay. I like Sami Zayn. Did Carmella's hair look better or was I saying things? It's her real hair, and I think she just has pieces. Personally, I wish she would wear a wig. She just needs to get it so that it actually fits her head and have her braids braided flat. So he was like, "You got two good phones, child. I stole this phone from my nephew." I sure did. Stole it right from him. I don't use it for nothing but when I have to post for work. And then when I do stuff for when I'm on live and I need to look at something or somebody sends me something, I use it for that. But I don't do nothing with this phone other than that because I really can't. She finally changed her wig. It's not a wig, baby. It is her hair. And she has pieces in her hair, which is fine, you know. Were you trying to put the link in the chat? Yes. Yes, I'm trying to put the link in the chat and I can't do it. Hold on, Janae. Hold on. No, I can't goddamn do it. She turned. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna put the light on in the. Ooh, child. It won't let you in, Janae. It's giving me all types of problems. I am sorry. Let me see if I can figure out how to work it, and then I will get you in. Because I'm not on my computer. I'm on my phone. So it won't let me in. I clicked on the mic cam allowed and nothing happened. Okay, so go out, completely exit out of that because that happens to me sometimes when I do the stuff with AT2. So completely exit out, like close that whole window that you have and then click the link from inside the group chat and try it again because that could be part of the problem. All right. I also feel Sasha versus Mills will be good. Oh boy will get involved, but Sasha will still win. P.S. I wonder why they added a stipulation. And what's the stipulation? Nobody told me it was a stipulation. See, that's why I gotta have my girl Mercedes over her. Mercedes, what's the stipulation, baby? Because I didn't even know it was a damn stipulation. They didn't tell me nothing about no stipulation, honey. They didn't tell me nothing about that. I agree. I'm liking this storyline better than I thought I would. That's what I'm saying. I don't deny that Carmella can serve when it's necessary. The problem I was having with Carmella was Carmella doesn't deliver in the ring as well as she does on the microphone. That is all. That is all. You know what I'm saying? Hold on a second. All right, sir. There she go. Oh, this AC2 there.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I came in good. I was just testing out the link, so I was able to get through. I had to use my laptop. Well, I wasn't on my phone. I was always on my laptop, but I was able to get through on my laptop. So I don't know why it's not working on the phone. If Janae is
Okay.
trying that.
I don't know why it's not letting her in on that part either. Yeah, baby, let me let you by. No, you gonna climb through? And he got a little monkey in him. Anyway, he got a little bit. Hold on, there she go. I got her. This whole said she ate Subway for dinner. I don't understand why you have to put your name in there like that. Why do you do that? She get on my damn nerves. Oh, okay. She said, I meant to say, I wonder, will they? I don't think they're going to add no stipulation to Sasha and Carmella's match. It is what it is. Isn't it supposed to be a TLC match or is it just a regular old match?
Should be a regular match. Am I echoing again?
I don't like when
No.
they don't make it like a stipulation. Like I feel like TLC should be like
It should.
Extreme Rules, a
Yeah.
stipulation on every match.
That match should be a tables match or a chairs match. It need to be something.
Right. I don't really want to see a ladder match between them, but a table at least, you know.
Yeah, because Carmella ain't gonna do nothing but have that little man service she got.
I mean,
Um,
it still might be. So here's my thing. They had so I missed the first hour of it. and then I was doing my hair, and I was sitting up under the hair dryer, so I only saw clips. So I
Yeah.
do know they have the contract signing from what I saw on Twitter. Um, Sasha Banks signed it, but then she said, "Why don't we do the match tonight?" So what I think is going to happen is Carmella's still going to get her match because then she's going to sign that contract because Sasha already signed it.
Yeah.
So, and then I feel like it might be something because Carmella hit her with that wine bottle, so they might up the ante.
Girl. They could
Mm.
have been up the ante hill, dragging it out to the week before the goddamn show. Y'all
Oh,
know it's next week.
can I talk about my skippity paps now?
No, she
All
said
right.
it's supposed to be a regular match. Okay.
Yeah. Here's my skippity paps, and y'all may not agree with me, but I hate when WWE books a match for a pay per view, but then runs that match before the pay per view,
Yeah.
even though they're going to run that match, like they did with I
Right.
think it was AJ Styles, um, Sami Zayn, and Jeff Hardy. They were gonna
Hmm.
have that match that Sunday, but
Yeah.
then they ran a regular triple threat match on Friday,
Yeah.
and I was just like, for what? You're having the match on Sunday, and I hate when they run the match back before the pay per view, but they ended in a DQ.
Right.
Mm.
And my whole thing is just like for these matches, and we can talk about Carmella and Sasha. If you were going to end it in a DQ, don't book the match. You could have just left it at the contract signing and just left it at that, and then had Sasha go back, talk to whoever is doing the interviews, and then maybe have Carmella attack her and hit her with that glass bottle right there, or have Carmella talking a bunch of shit, and then Sasha goes to find her, goes to wherever her set is. She's not there. Carmella beats her up, hits her with the bottle of champagne, left it at that, and then you can still run the match at the pay per view. But for
That
me,
Right.
it's
makes sense.
but for me, it's like when you run Carmella and Sasha tonight, and then it ends in a DQ. Why would I want to see it on Sunday? You're already running the match, so it's just like you're kind of giving us what we're gonna see anyways.
She right.
Yeah, I hate that they do that, but I understand why. It's supposed to leave you with that kind of like cliffhanger, like, oh, they didn't finish the match, so watch it this Sunday, and it's supposed to get people to buy it or want to watch it. That's like the old school way of doing it, but we're
It
smart
don't
enough
work.
to know it doesn't make a difference, you know.
Yeah, because for
But
me, I'd be
according
more
to some people,
intrigued.
it might.
To me,
I
I'd be
don't
more
know. The pay per
intrigued
view
if
is next Sunday. It's next Sunday. It's not
yeah,
this Sunday.
Oh,
yeah.
it's
To
So
not
me,
this Sunday.
yeah,
no.
there's still a week left. That's what I'm saying. I'd be more intrigued with the match if they just had Sasha signed it. Carmella kept talking shit. Sasha's like, I'm gonna step to you like a woman because you keep coming to me behind my back. She goes and finds Carmella like she did the last time, but this time Carmella has the one up on her. Sasha gets there. She can't find Carmella. Carmella attacks her, hits her in the back with that wine bottle, and then you can take the match on. And then on Friday, you can do some more talking. Don't have them
Mhm.
wrestling. You can have another fight break out and maybe add a stipulation there, and then take it into the pay per view. But it's just like, why do you consistently always run that same match a week or two before the actual pay per view? Like you want to save that for the pay per view.
That's true.
Right, you're right about that.
I don't like it because there's nothing good that's gonna come out of it unless you're gonna do something sneaky like give Carmella the damn belt. Then I don't want to see it because I don't need a reason to be pissed off. like
Yeah,
I would rather be pissed off because she got the title and they just railroaded Sasha like that than to be pissed off because y'all had a match and it was a DQ match and y'all could have put somebody else in that slot.
yeah. Like I would. What this is what I would have done. It probably wouldn't have been great. I would have the contract signing. Um, and then I would just tell Carmella, you want a title shot? Beat somebody first, and then I'll give you a title shot. Have Sasha walk to the back, have someone interview her, be like, so what was that? And Carmella's like, you think I'm just gonna give her a title shot? Blah blah blah. She thinks he's better than me. Have Billy Kay go up to Sasha with her resume, like hello, Miss Banks. This is my headshot and my
Okay,
resume.
stop. Stop.
And
Stop.
and she's just like, if you ever need an assistant, just let me know. And then Sasha can go, how about this? You face Carmella tonight. If you win, I'll give you the title shot at TLC. And then you can have Carmella and Billy Kay. We know Billy Kay is going to lose. You have Carmella and Billy Kay. Sasha can come out ringside to watch. At that moment, you can see if Billy Kay's gotten better or whatever. Either way, Carmella picks up the win. So she'll still get her title shot for TLC, and she can still smash the bottle over Sasha's back. There's so many ways you could have done that besides running that match tonight, because we all knew it was going to end up in a DQ.
Right. Well, now that I know that the pay-per-view is not this Sunday, what are they going to do for next week?
Change the damn stipulation to the match so they can have a table. They probably don't have a chairs match.
They probably gonna have a wine bottle match or like a backstage something like Diva era-ish.
I don't like it.
No, Carmella's gonna challenge her to an untouchable match. And what's gonna happen is Sasha is gonna come out, and around the rings it's gonna be a bunch of like makeup and mirrors and wine bottles and glasses, so they can still use tables and chairs, and people just gonna be getting hit with wine bottles and everything else. Because to me, I feel like if you're going into TLC and you end SmackDown with getting smacked with a wine bottle, you obviously are gonna have to up the ante. You can't just go to a regular match after you just got cracked with a wine bottle. If you're going into
TLC,
yo, tell me why I'm trying to put the comments up on the screen. It's so weird being on this side, Tiff.
It's not so stream.
Yeah, I'm like trying to put the comments up and shit. I'm all like, wait, hold on.
Last time I tried to do that, I kicked my own self out of the live.
Wow.
I'm excited, child. I got on my TV.
Hey, Don.
Hey.
What's up, Don?
What's up, Don?
Hey.
Wait, Don, what were you talking about when you were like, was that an AEW shot?
Dolph has said, he said that Street Profits was a knockoff of, he said Morrow and somebody else.
Oh, okay, I saw that. No, those two they're like New York hosts about hip hop and fashion and like Jordan shoes and stuff. I think they have a radio station too in New York. They're two like light-skinned black guys.
I know who they're talking about. Mero and Deezus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that
Deezus is not light skinned. Deezus is dark skinned.
Is he?
Yeah.
It must have been the light, because every time I've seen them be like one light skin and one like semi light skin.
No, Deezus is hold on. I'll show you Deezus and Mero.
I want to see myself on my TV. Hold on.
He's like, let me cast this to my TV.
Yeah,
Deezus, I think, is Dominican, right?
I was thinking about casting it to my TV too. Oh, let me cast it to my TV too. How do I do that? Let me grab my other phone.
Yeah, because they have a show, and I think that their show is on Showtime now. It used to be on Vice. But Vice didn't want to pay them, so they decided to go to Showtime. And Showtime for money.
I gotta turn on my Wi-Fi's.
Okay.
That is Deezus and Mero.
Oh.
See?
That was a long shot, but hey, he tried. I would have came out, well, y'all just knock out version of Beavis and Butthead.
Period.
But y'all
and that would have worked.
Damn.
Definitely would have worked.
Yo, I watched Wrestle Shade's video today about Carmella and Sasha. And he was like, the black dude. He was like, "Who's that? Is that R-Truth cousin?" I started cracking up because I was like, "Is that?" Because I was thinking either R-Truth or Wale. So I was like, "Who the hell is that?"
He's so ignorant. He ain't got no sense.
He don't.
He don't.
He be acting a damn fool. He do. He be cutting up, honey.
Yeah.
No, but I didn't. I thought they had a stipulation to their match. I'm kind of disappointed that they don't.
Who?
Carmella probably don't want to break a nail.
Oh no.
It'll
I know
probably
probably
be a stipulation match for probably Friday. They'll next Friday they'll probably add a stipulation to it.
right.
It's obvious to me that the Hurt Business will be winning the Raw tag titles. I don't have a problem with that actually.
I'm ready
Yeah, I
for
don't
it at
mind
this
it.
point. They might
I'm
as well
trying to
go
figure out
ahead.
what are they doing with Cedric because it seems like Cedric is slowly starting to go off the rails. I'm gonna see if that's gonna have any implications on the Hurt Business as a whole.
Absolutely. 100%. Because as
I
soon as he
Hmm.
gets them titles, it's gonna be fully present.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna
You
hit
know
the
what I was
titles and his ego is gonna take over and they're gonna end up dropping the titles because of him and then he's just gonna get his ass whooped.
Yeah,
what
like
What I was thinking was that Cedric, I can see them winning the tag titles. Yes, I do want to speak to that. But what I was thinking was that Cedric is going to become like the new leader of the Hurt Business, and they're going to get rid of MVP because isn't MVP supposed to be like a booker and not on screen? Like when he came back, wasn't he just supposed to be a booker
He goes like
or
their
no?
manager or some shit like that.
Yeah, he's their manager.
Oh, he is
um,
supposed to be a man
He's
because
the
I thought they
choir
made him a
director.
backstage producer, and then all of a sudden he became like an on-screen talent
No, he
when
was
he
all
no,
returned.
he does both. So MVP does both. He's on screen talent and he helps aid in the booking, rather more so of making sure that certain talent is pushed forward.
bubblegum. Hey,
So when you look at like he was a big advocate for Ruby when Ruby was on Raw. He's a very big advocate for Shayna. And he's a big advocate, of course, for the black guys there. If it wasn't for MVP, the Hurt Business would be non-existent, and they would none of them would be seen on TV except for Lashley. He's the only one.
You
Right,
definitely wouldn't see Shelton Benjamin at all.
Right,
okay.
but he does both. He is a part of their creative team in the back and talking to them about talent being pushed. He does all of that, and he does the on-screen talent.
He put them black men on TV.
Yes, he did.
He
For
Hmm.
could have
that,
left Bobby off TV though. I'm
you
just
gotta
saying.
respect. You gotta respect MVP for that. Like
oh
he
yeah,
deserves
of
all the
course.
flowers.
Yeah, no, I like MVP as an on-screen character. I don't mind that at all. I was just thinking that I could see it going in that way where Cedric, because I mean, like, other than MVP, really none of them stand out as far as like talking. You know what I mean? As
Yeah,
mic skills.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, Cedric can talk, but he don't know what he be talking about.
I don't want to hear Cedric talk.
As for Shelton, he ain't got nothing to talk about, nigga. You ain't done nothing since you been back. As for Bobby, he just can't talk.
Bobby just stands there and sweats and bleeds. That's all
Once he
he
get on the mic,
Period.
he said, "You." He be like, "You want to know? You want to know what I can do?
No,
How about we have a match right now?"
Mitch, look what
I'm
I
like,
can do
"Look."
on some motherfucking steward shit. Your
and
ass is
then
retarded.
and
That's
then
the
he
only.
loses again. And then he grabs the mic
Yeah.
after losing and goes, "Look what I can do! Another match right now." And you're just like, "All right, cool, I guess,
Why he
Yeah.
keep
whatever."
trying to put the damn hurt lock on these big ass people?
I don't know.
He been
But
struggling. He been
I'm
struggling.
still mad that they didn't do Keith Lee versus Bobby Lashley because that's what they should have went with.
Yeah.
I don't know why they picking Riddle.
Mm.
I would rather see Keith Lee with the U.S. title than move over to the main title, but it looks like Riddle's going to get the U.S. title. They're going to move Keith Lee to the main event, and I'm pretty sure Drew might actually drop it because if they're going to do Drew, Keith Lee, and Brock Lesnar, if Drew doesn't retain, I think they're going to go to Keith Lee, and then we might see Keith Lee versus Brock Lesnar.
Ugh,
Wow.
God.
I seen something about a triple threat in the wrestling rumors. Brock, Drew, and Keith Lee, like you
I
said,
don't
Janae.
want to see. I don't want to see Lego head in no match. I don't want to see that shit.
I ain't
I
saying
don't
nothing
want to
different.
see
I don't want to
that.
see it either. Yeah, you're
The
right.
fuck, yo, I enjoy my champion being on TV every week. I
Okay.
enjoy my champion wrestling every week. I get to see the title every week. I don't have to listen to Paul Heyman's thick ass always talking about his champion. I don't
Every
have to
3 weeks.
listen to it every week. Because Roman Reigns be like, you sit your thick ass in the back. Don't say shit. You talk with
Okay.
You
Every time
to
he do say something, he like, I got it.
talk.
Yeah.
He's just like, your job is to hand me my title when I
Period.
reach for it.
That's what you get paid for. Just give me my damn title back. Sure.
No,
You
I
said,
definitely do
I
not
want to keep
want to
winning
see.
the title.
I don't want to see Ham Hock neck, but I feel like they're gonna do at WrestleMania. They're gonna do Drew versus Keith versus Ham Hock, and then if Drew doesn't retain, it's gonna go to Keith. Then we're gonna see Keith versus roasted pork butt.
What?
Please.
Ugh.
When you roast a pork
Okay.
butt, don't. That's what he looked like after the match. He all red and he looked like an uncooked roasted pork butt.
Don't disrespect pork butts like that.
They do be delicious though with the seasoning, that little sage to it. You know what I'm
Don't
saying?
nobody want to look at Brock Lesnar.
The
Nobody.
accoutrements.
After stuff, and don't disrespect no pork butt like that. Hmm.
Oh shoot, SmackDown's on.
Matt and Jeff might team and become the Hardy Bros and become tag champions. Matt's not there.
Matt,
But like,
Matt's
wait,
in
Matt Hardy's
AEW.
there?
when did Matt leave AEW?
Matt's not there.
And
Okay,
even
wait.
if Matt, and even if
He
Matt
should
was to go
retire.
back to WWE, he's not going to be wrestling there
Matt
because the
Hardy
reason
don't want
why,
to go back to WWE. He
yeah,
said the
because
Hardy Bros can become Raw Tag Champions. Then at the end, they'll lose them, leading to Matt and Jeff turning heel, putting Riddle over. That's just a rumor. That's not a rumor. That's
you
bullshit.
made that up. You made that up.
That's not a rumor. That's bullshit.
You made that up.
You can't have Matt and Jeff Hardy as a tag team. I mean, you talking about Matt Riddle? That is
Matt Riddle. That'd be some
Who?
petty ass shit to have Matt and Jeff as a
why.
tag team.
Why do they need a tag team for him to be put over? I don't.
For who to be put
I
over?
don't get
And
that one.
that can't be the rumor because the rumor right now is Riddle's going to go for the U.S. title.
That's clear. That ain't even a rumor. That's what we're seeing on live television. He said they will lose them, leading to Matt and Jeff turning heel, putting Riddle over. That's just a rumor. If that happens, I think that's the stupidest thing ever. They can turn Jeff Hardy heel right now.
See, I was confused because he was like Matt and Jeff, but then he put Riddle in there, and I was like, wait, what?
You gotta specify. You gotta say Matt Riddle, or just say Riddle and Jeff. Because you say Matt, the first thing I do, you say it, and become the Hardy Bros.
Mm-hmm.
I'm over it.
Because I was like, wait a minute, Matt's in AEW, and the reason why he left the AEW is because WWE was like, you old, we can't have you wrestle no more. You want to be in the back? You want to do some production?
You said this is what you said, love. Okay, I'm aware it says rumor. We're aware of the rumor part. That's not the part that we're having trouble comprehending.
Yeah.
This is what it says. I didn't put on the new. I didn't change the comment. The comment came in as it is. Okay, so it says leading to Matt and Jeff turning heel, Riddle putting Riddle over. That's just a rumor. So when you look at what you wrote, it says they become
Oh.
I know what he's saying. The Hardy Bros.
They will lose them, leading to Matt and Jeff turning heel, putting Riddle over. That's just the rumor. So when I read it, wrote it, how am I supposed to interpret it? I can only interpret what you write. So if you're typing it incorrectly and then you come back and change things, that's different. But I'm reading what you wrote. Now I'll give you this. I damn sure thought you was talking about Matt Hardy.
We all did. Don't worry.
Because what
That's
confused
the first thing
me,
that popped into my mind.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute.
because it confused me because he said Matt and Jeff turning heel, putting Riddle over. That's just a rumor. So I was like Matt and Jeff. Then he used the word Riddle. I'm looking at three separate people. But if he said Riddle and Jeff might become the Hardy Bros, become Raw Tag Team Champions, then at the end they would lose them, leading to Riddle and Jeff turning heel, putting Riddle over it. Then I'd be like, oh, okay, but you made it seem like it was 3 separate people.
I honestly don't like that scenario at all. Number one, it would completely interfere with Riddle possibly becoming United States champion. That means they would have to pull Riddle off of Bobby Lashley and put somebody else up there for him to gain the tag team titles from Cedric and Shelton. When they haven't set that shit up yet. They are already establishing Riddle and Bobby Lashley having a bout. That is clear. So why would they pull Riddle from that and make him go after Shelton and Cedric? It's like you're standing at the top and you got the gold, but you drop down to get silver. For what? I'm not gonna tag team with fucking Jeff Hardy and I could be the United States champion. Fuck that bullshit.
Okay.
I'm not
What's
gonna
Jeff
do that.
doing? Flying with Elias.
I'll pass. I don't want no parts in that. Never mind.
It's so much.
Initially, I thought Matt Riddle when I read the comment. I did too. I thought they would know. Okay, see, this is where we had the conversation last time. This is what happened yesterday when I say context. So when I read something and you post it, it's not stupid for me to immediately think about Matt and Jeff Hardy when you say Matt and Jeff. So if you're going to clarify what you're saying, that's fine. But don't try to make it seem like I'm foolish or I'm ignorant for reading what I read. Because if I go in the comments and say your mama smell like ass, you gonna say, bitch, I know you ain't tell me my mama smell like ass. You're not gonna interpret nothing other than what you saw. So don't come at me with no sneak side shade because I interpreted what you read, what you typed as something else, because I'm not the only one who could have misinterpreted it. And don't try to make it seem like I'm stupid for possibly misinterpreting what you say.
See, when I read Matt and Jeff, I immediately think of Matt and Jeff Hardy because that's the only Matt and Jeff I see together that I know of.
Thank
and
you.
I also watch AEW and I know Matt is there. And so when you make that sentence and then you end it with Riddle at the end instead of saying Riddle throughout, I'm thinking of 3 separate people.
Yeah, and I just don't care about Riddle. That's basically it.
Riddle me this. I need to change. That's what he needs to be. The Riddle. That's what he needs to be. I'd play the hell out of that.
Yeah, here, I'll show you. So when I say, I've been saying this whole time that I thought you was talking about Matt and Jeff. You said, what other Matt asked Jeff to become the Hardy Bros? First of all, when I read it, the first thing I read was Matt and Jeff, so it took me the fuck out all the way together. I'm just sitting here like, okay, wait a minute. How the fuck is Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy gonna do this? What they gonna do? They gonna do that shit. So that took me out. So I was not even trying. Then when I finally read everything together, I was like, oh, okay. But instead of this, you're coming back because you always do this. You always come back and reiterate what you say. And even though I'm saying, yes, it's a rumor, I'm agreeing with you. I am reiterating what you said, but I'm going off on a tangent because I'm like, it can't be Matt Hardy. What the fuck? That's on me. You can even reiterate that it was a rumor, and I'm sitting here like, okay, I don't like it. I don't like the rumor. And instead of just leave it alone and let me clear it up, because I obviously misread what you said. I misunderstood what you typed. You come back. Because Aaliyah came back and said, initially I thought Matt Riddle when I read the comment. That's fine, because she read and she saw it differently. I didn't. I'm from the era of Matt Hardy and Jeff. So when you say Matt and Jeff together in a sentence, the first thing I'm going to think is Matt and Jeff Hardy. That's just where my mind went.
Facts.
And that's the same thing too. Like, I'm also from the era, so when you put Matt and Jeff together, and the thing about it is, I never called them the Hardy Brothers. I always called them the Hardy Bros.
Right.
Even back in the day, I never called it the Hardy Brothers. So when you
They've
said
been called
men,
the Hardy Bros before. That's not new. That has happened. They literally had shirts that said Hardy Bros on them. So then you come back with, I did too. I thought they would know. What other man asked Jeff to become Hardy Bros? You don't consider that to be shade? Not at all. I thought they would know. What other man
I don't think that person know what shade is. I think that's what it is. I was
Oh,
just
they
giving
know.
another perspective.
They know. They well aware.
Oh, okay.
Everybody knows
I
what
tried.
shade is.
I
Everybody
did
knows
my
what
research,
shade is.
y'all. He a little young. That's what it is. He a little young.
Are y'all listening on different screens or I'm hearing some? I don't know. It's a playback that happens sometimes. I
Oh, I
can't
got
help
my. I'm on my phone and I got my TV on, so I'm on my phone and my TV is playing the same thing. So that might be.
it. Okay, so that can't happen to
Oh,
playback. That
If
can
you
dun
hear it,
happen
you
to
just
dun
deal with
dun
it.
dun
Damn.
dun.
maybe that's why my mic was echoing.
Nah, don't blame that on me, Janae. Pedal back, because that ain't my fault. She tried it. She really did. Jenny.
Quan
Why
said
gotta
Jeff
be
Hardy had
Jenny?
the best
Why it gotta
braids
be
in
Jenny?
early 2000s.
Can I
Jeff
not be
Hardy had the
Jenny?
best braids.
Who got the
What?
best braids?
I don't remember that.
Jeff Hardy had the best braids in the early 2000s. I think Jazz had the best braids in the early 2000s, but that's just.
I don't even remember.
I think he probably had like them in sync kind of braid things, individual braids. If
Maybe
I
they
can
meant
recall.
Jacqueline. Maybe that's who they meant because I
No,
don't.
they said Jeff
That Jeff
Hardy.
he said Jeff.
They said Jeff.
I was just trying to give them some
They
leeway.
said Jeff, baby. Hold on, let me put it back up. That says Jeff. That ain't mistaken Jacqueline. Jacqueline got
Oh,
skin.
oh,
That's
okay.
just straight up Jeff Hardy.
So maybe they meant Jacqueline.
Yes, I I read a good comment. The Raw tag division needs something more, and I don't know what it is. I think
They
they
need
need more
an
tag
actual
teams.
division.
They need more
Yeah,
tag teams.
they need
That's what
tag
the
Yeah,
teams.
more is.
actual
They need tag
division.
teams.
They need tag
Yeah,
teams. That's exactly what it is. I think you hitting it right on the head.
that's 100% accurate. Yes, they
Yeah.
need an actual division, and that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. Because if it was, they would make sure it was possible right now. Like I feel like they only do what they deem is necessary. And when it comes to the tag division, even though for a long time on SmackDown, like the Usos and the New Day and American Alpha and I think it was B Team was there at the time, they was holding the tag division down over there. It
Mm-hmm.
was fun to watch. But then they just busted everybody up. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
They'll break up a tag team in a minute.
Okay, and then put some random shit together.
Hmm.
They'll break up the tag team and then put them in a new tag team.
That's
I.e. Billy Kay and Peyton Royce.
Oh,
I
hey, yo, I'm calling it out. Billy Kay is gonna be the breakout star.
Oh
I
yeah,
believe
definitely.
that.
okay.
Y'all
I mean,
always
he's gonna be a
hating.
breakout entertainer. I can say that. I wouldn't say
I
star.
don't think he'll be a breakout wrestler, but
Okay, whether it's a wrestler or she gets a TV show, she gonna break out in something.
She
Break
could
I
out in
think
she could
Billy
be
Hives.
could
I
like
be
don't
a
she
know.
could
great
be like
valet. Like I don't feel like she should wrestle. She should be the kind of valet that dressed real good. She dressed real good, and she come out there with her superstar. She interfere in matches, help them win, and talk mad shit. That's the kind of valet she should be.
I've been saying that for years.
But she should not be a wrestler because Billy is only good at selling.
Yeah.
That's that's where Billy's niche is selling.
Y'all rude.
No, it's just real. I mean, you tell me you're gonna sit there and just let me go watch some Billy Kay matches back to back to back
Absolutely
to back
not.
to back to back to back.
I will just because you said it.
Oh,
Go
okay,
ahead and tell me what you think. I want you to watch. I
AT
want you
is
to
about
watch
to
at
go on
least
that
10.
network and look up Billy Kay matches and be disappointed and be like, "Oh, they told me
facts.
so."
Go ahead and I need you to watch 10. Watch
Yeah.
10 and rate them
Start with
between
NXT.
1 and 10 stars and tell me
What I
what you
will
think.
tell you to do, if you are going to go back and watch Billy Kay matches, don't watch any from NXT or anything. Go back and watch her stuff on the Indies. Then you can be like, okay, she was actually doing something, but then when she got to NXT, it just dwindled.
It's
Well, Jason
complacency.
Jordan got injured. That's what happened with Jason Jordan. He suffered a neck injury and
Understood.
then he couldn't come back. So Jason works for creative. He's a part of the production team. Most of the time, when it comes to the Fiend, Jason Jordan has to do with that. So that's what he's doing. He's getting the backstage coin.
Bless him, because he was gonna be something big.
Excuse me.
Those
Mhm. A whole mess. So we got Sasha and Carmella at TLC, Drew and AJ Styles, and then we have probably gonna be New Day versus the Hurt Business at TLC. You
Yeah, that
got
was confirmed.
Oscar, you got Oscar and Lana. But Oscar and Lana versus Nia Jackson, Shayna, and everybody's mad. They're mad that Oscar and Lana are gonna get the tag team titles. Quite frankly, I'm fine with that. Oscar finally get a title. I mean, Lana will finally get a title, and she'll be happy.
It'll be a nice little 2 month reign.
I think it's gonna be more like a month, but whatever, you know.
Oh, that's right. Royal
tomato
Rumble's in
tomato.
January. I keep thinking it's in February. It's in January. My bad.
It's in January this year. The end of January is when Royal Rumble is, and that's when they leave.
I
Who
keep
They
thinking
knew?
put
I keep thinking February for some reason.
Royal Rumble is gonna be interesting.
Do you think I was thinking also, because AJ Styles and Drew just seem like a weird match. I'm thinking that Miz is going to interfere.
no,
That's what I'm thinking.
man, don't curse me like
I'm
that.
I think he
sorry.
may interfere, but I think it's not gonna be successful. Or
Yeah, I
he
think
might
it's gonna
just
be
come out and then
unsuccessful.
some shit gonna fall.
Okay, y'all think y'all know WWE love Miz to his core.
As
That
they
man can walk
should.
in there with shitty draws and they would do something with that. They don't care.
They've been
They'll
doing
give
something with
him that
that since
damn
he walked through
title.
the door. He walked in with shitty draws.
Well,
When was the last? Because I wasn't around for all the women's Money in the Bank. Has there been an unsuccessful cash in with the women?
No.
nope,
No, I don't think so.
never.
Mm-mm. It's been, a redo, but it's never been an unsuccessful cash in.
The redo was because Chinless Wonder was in there. He's the one who grabbed the first briefcase. That shit pissed me off.
I was so happy because I said, this is a motherfucking story.
I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is the first women's Money in the Bank. No man should be touching this fucking briefcase.
Do you
Period.
think Paige will ever return? Baby, do
Yeah.
you know what happened to Paige? Paige
I,
blew her own return over. She
I
fucked
mean,
herself up.
if
She's
she
not
has
coming back.
as corrective surgery that Edge has and it worked for her, it's possible because they told Edge he would never wrestle again. Ever.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel kind of weird about those neck injuries because didn't Nikki Bella say she was never going to be able to wrestle again, and now that she had the baby, she's talking about a return and teasing it. Like I'm not saying like they're faking their injuries. I'm not saying that. I don't want you guys to think that. But I'm all like, okay, like did they go through all the tests and did they only ask like the WWE doctors? Like, what's the process when somebody quote unquote has to retire for injury? Just like Daniel Bryan, they said he would never wrestle again because he was having concussions and stuff like that. And now all of a sudden he came back. So I'm all like, is there a real protocol? Or are they like, let's wait a couple of years where people forget and then you make a miraculous return?
I think it is a protocol because for when they said he first got his concussions, they was like, no, he went to a whole bunch of doctors and they told him, no, you can't wrestle, no, you can't wrestle, no, you can't wrestle. Same thing, with Nikki and Paige until they saw improvement on that injury. And then even then, Nikki's doctor, Dr. Europe, he was said, I don't think it's a good idea. And she said, well, shit, I'm gonna do the shit anyway. This is like a major comeback. I got a good
Well, I
time for
think
it.
with Nikki Bella, it's more of the cyst that's on her brain than her neck
Yeah,
injury. Nikki Bella's neck injury can be repaired, which she's had corrective surgery to have it repaired. I don't think that's the problem. I think the issue with her is the cyst on her brain.
that too.
Mm.
So, so for
Oh,
her,
I do remember that. Okay.
so for her, it's more of her getting hurt in a cerebral way. For Daniel Bryan kept going to different specialists to make sure that he was not going to continue to injure himself. He also had to retrain so he could wrestle better. But even now, Daniel still wrestles like a wild man. He still wrestles that way. Um,
Yeah.
he still wrestles weird, extremely wild, and is highly energetic, and it is entertaining, but it is still dangerous. And then dives, every time he takes a fucking dive, I want to scream and just yank his little troll ass right out the damn ring and be like, "Don't do that shit no more! Like, stop doing that!
Right.
Stop doing them suicide dives. They're not okay. Like, you can really hurt yourself."
I think
Everybody,
Ricochet, before he started wrestling and he knew he was about to do all this, I think he went to a specialist and had a titanium plate inserted into his neck
Girl, I think she
because
better say something serious.
the way this man wrestles and how
he
he treats
wild
his neck,
too. He
I'm just
wild
like,
too.
bro, your neck's gonna be like jello in like
He
10
be
years.
taking
Mm.
the
hits in the
thing
middle of
the thing
movies.
is with injuries is it goes by the person. So Daniel Bryan's injury wasn't in actually an injury, it was concussion symptoms. Daniel's issue was concussions, and WWE, because they have a bad history with concussions and making sure that their superstars are capable of wrestling, they have a bad history of continuing on without all of that. So they are taking extra precautions, especially when it comes to Daniel Bryan. He's one of their biggest stars. So they were like, we can't run the risk of you getting concussed again. And Daniel
Right.
was had like three or four, I think, by that time. So and he was having multiple storylines running, and they were just like, we're not going to be able to keep going like this. You are not going to be worth anything to anybody. And heaven forbid if they kept going with him and they end up with another Benoit situation. So
Mm-hmm.
they were like, no, we're not going to do this. We're not going to have your wife, and she's worried about you. You're gonna have to sit this one out. Daniel was like, I know that I can get through this. I have to figure out a way to do this. And Bree supported him through it. And he would go to different specialists after some time, and they would tell him, no, like you have so much damage done. And is the damage reversible? We don't know. And he just kept working at it and working at it, and he was able to go back to wrestling. With Nikki Bella, it's different. I fear that she could really be injured wrestling and with that cyst on her brain. Now,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't want the bitch to come back.
Ooh,
She don't want to come back, but she ain't saying,
I don't want her to come back, and I don't want to see her sister wrestle either. But
I always liked Brie. I didn't have a problem with Brie. I thought
I
she
don't
was
like
a
it. I don't
decent
like it.
wrestler.
go ahead,
Fuck that.
AT2.
Fuck that. No. 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 No.
Talking
Uh,
about
When
Brie.
and when in their era, considering what they allowed the women to do and what they didn't allow the women to do, they did okay. I'm not going to take that from them. But they're not my cup of tea when it comes to women's wrestling. And I surely did not like that for more than a year. That is all we got to see, and that is all that dominated my TV when it came to the women's division. There was more they had to offer than Nikki and Brie Bella. But
I
that's all
liked
we
it.
got. And I was like, girl, at this point, you, your titties, and your sister, and y'all coming out there, I'm sick of it. Y'all got to do something. They waited till Charlotte, Sasha, and Becky came up to change things.
yeah. Well, I do like Liv and Ruby. And I do think they are deserving of the women's tag titles. I agree with you, Marlon.
They should have been got on.
yeah,
Period.
they should have those before Shayna and Nia.
Personally,
Right.
they should have made Shayna and Nia fight. so that one of them can be the number one contender for Oscar. And they could have had a nice triple threat at TLC by now with Oscar, Shayna, and Nia, and everybody's having a good time watching that instead of fucking worried about her putting Lana through her 30,000th table.
Right. I hope they do add them to the match. I think that would add a different flavor to it if they added Liv and Ruby to that pay-per-view match, like they do
They
like a
can't do that.
surprise or
They can't
something.
do that. Oscar and Lana got a match with Shayna and Nia Jax.
I don't
No,
know
like
what
add
goes
triple
on.
threat. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah,
Like
but
it would be
you
like a
are you gonna?
surprise.
I'm gonna ask you a question. If you gonna have a match, you got a
Mhm.
match at TLC with Lana and Oscar. If you gonna wrestle another match against Oscar again, again in another match, like I would not want to wrestle again. Like I just put in work. I'm not gonna do it again. I don't care if the damn match lost or not. I'm not doing another match tonight. I'm not doing it.
See,
You gonna
my
get
thing
one.
is, I like Ruby Riott and Liv on SmackDown, but at the same time, I'm just like, if they're your only women's tag team, why wouldn't it be better to put them on Raw? I'm kind of like on the boat where it's just like I like them on SmackDown. I think they fit on SmackDown, but since they are a tag team and all your lack thereof women's tag teams are on Raw, wouldn't it be easier to put them on Raw? So I'm just like, how are they going to? You're gonna have to find a way to give them a storyline with the tag champions if you ever want to like go that route.
Well, I mean, they could let them travel SmackDown. SmackDown wrestlers, if they're gonna be the tag team, they could very well go to NXT and wrestle in NXT against Casey and Katie,
That's
or they could, if they got something going in WWE. I mean, they got enough to do something with it, but it's no different than Shayna and Nia having the titles on Raw.
I'm just trying to figure out why is it that Sasha and Bayley was the only team that was traveling.
Because they were the ones who made it clear that that's what they wanted to do, and they had the power to do so.
So you gotta say, "Oh, let me go. Can I go to NXT?"
They should force them to travel.
I mean, because when Sasha and Bayley were tag champs the first time, they
I'm sorry.
they made
I
it
just read
clear
somebody's comment. I'm sorry.
they made it clear that they wanted to go to NXT, they wanted to go to all these other places. So when they got the titles back, they made sure to be like, "Hey, I want to go to NXT. I want to face these women. I want to go to Raw." And on top of that, at the time, they were ratings grab. They were a
Yeah,
ratings grab. So you would be dumb not to put your ratings grabber during the pandemic with the tag titles and the main titles on all of the brands, because when they were on NXT, they had the highest rated segments out of anybody.
they
They were
did.
pushing like 900K views for their quarterly viewer things.
Mhm.
Like it would literally be the previous quarter would be like 700,000 or 600,000, and then once the quarter came up for Bayley and Sasha and whoever they were with, it'll go up a couple of 100,000 because people were tuning in to watch them.
See, it's not
Yeah.
even about stats, to be honest. When y'all
Mm,
introduced those
Well, yeah,
titles,
they don't really care about that. Yeah.
y'all said that it was going to be across all brands
that's what
for
they
the
said.
entire division.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that when a certain team gets it, they're not doing nothing? They're on one brand. Iconics got it, they didn't do shit.
No,
Oscar and Kyrie got it, they stayed on Raw. They barely did shit.
but they moved to SmackDown and Raw. I
They moved
will
to
say that.
SmackDown and lost,
Yeah, they did. They did. But they at least went to a
but they got
different
it back.
brand.
I
You
mean,
gotta give them that.
I give them that. They did.
They did.
Oscar and Kyrie, they traveled at least about a couple. They went to SmackDown and went to NXT once,
Right.
and it was good. And then
Yeah,
Alexa and Nikki got it. They stayed on SmackDown. They went on
they
Raw a couple
did.
times. So like, why are
They
you
never
not
went to
upholding your?
NXT.
They didn't. Is it like you not feeling that they're not worthy? And Nikki came from NXT. She can wrestle with them girls.
I mean, I
Alexa
totally
was questionable.
I
Yeah.
totally agree that any one of the belt holders should have been across all three brands. But again, it was the fact that it was Sasha and Bayley.
That's what I'm telling you.
I mean, I
It was
Yeah.
get it with
literally
Sasha and Bailey, but I'm saying like, why are you still not upholding that?
Because they don't care. And then too, you have to remember that some of the superstars don't feel like their voices are heard, so they keep their heads down and do what they can to maintain their jobs.
Nike keep her head down.
You know
Nike
all
come
that,
out
but
clothes.
you know that Nia Jax
Yeah.
don't do nothing but call her cousin when she feel like she ain't getting one.
She ain't complaining because she on Raw every goddamn day. But it's like,
Amen. She don't care. She don't care about them titles going to no other show.
she
If
really
she
don't. As
do,
long
I'll
as she
be
holding
shocked.
it and on
Like
TV.
when you look at interviews with Sasha and Bailey, they talk about how they want to face all the women in every division. So
Mm-hmm.
I could see them speaking up more to either Vince or Hunter, being like, "We want to go on NXT, we want to go on Raw, we want to go here and face these women and these women." Nia Jax seems more like she's worried about herself and what she can get for herself and
Yes.
only herself, while Sasha and Bailey want something for all the women because Bianca Belair just had an interview and she even said, she said when Sasha and Bailey sit at the table for the women's division, they bring in other chairs so the women can sit with them. They're not about themselves, they're about elevating all of the women. So if they can go cross brand to put eyes on other women, they're willing to do that.
Yeah.
That's good.
And that's
The
crazy.
co-
Even little Miss Bliss can say the same thing.
the comment that I was laughing at is because I don't know if it was on purpose, but it said Asuka and Lana versus Naya and Baron Corbin versus Liv and Ruby. That's the comment that I was reading. I didn't know if it was supposed to be shady or they actually
That was
made a
shady.
mistake. Oh,
Y'all
okay.
gotta. Never mind.
Y'all
I don't go
first
there. I'm
y'all
gonna read
talk
these
about Miss
comments because I'm
Shenanigans.
behind in the comments. So let me read some of these other comments because I ain't gonna go there because I'm gonna cut somebody the fuck out. Okay.
That was on
Anyway,
purpose.
so
But will NXT women ever get tag titles? That's a good question. That's a good
hold on a second.
question.
Somebody sent me a message a while back and say, "So Tiff, I need to make a decision. If I attend a wrestling school because it's very expensive, or get Christmas gifts, I have to make a decision by the end of tonight. I'm so torn on what to pick. First of all, um, you don't need no PS5 because they're gonna be making games for the PS4 and the Xbox One for at least another what 2-3 years. AJ, you can get a
Until they
PS5
fix the
in
goddamn system.
2000. You can get PS5 in 2003. In 2023, you'll be fine. You ain't gotta have it right now. If you want to be a wrestler, you gotta make sacrifices. Y'all don't.
Wait,
Ooh,
no, here's
child.
my question. How old are you? Because if you're not old enough to go to wrestling school, just get a PS5 and ball till you fall
Shut
out.
up, Janae. Shut up.
No,
Baby,
I'm
Shut
follow, like I
no.
no,
said, follow
I'm
your
being
dreams because
I'm
Christmas
being
every
serious.
year.
I'm
That
being
PS5
serious.
ain't going nowhere though.
Christmas
That
No,
every
I'm
means being
being
goddamn year.
older. If you're between the age of 13 and 18, I think that's the best time for you to go to wrestling school.
a lot of the wrestling schools won't take you unless you're like 18 years old. But that's why I'm
That's
asking how
not
old
It
are you?
true.
depends. You gotta have like
Y-
some of them
You got
Some
parental
of them are
consent,
will
you
like
can
accept it.
go.
some of them are like 15, 16 with parental consent. But a good chunk of, and also yeah, it depends on where he's at. So if he's all the schools that are by this person, if they're only taking people at a certain age and he's not that certain age yet, then yeah, get the PS5. But if you're that certain age where you can go to school, you can go to wrestling school either on your own or with parental consent, then yes, go to wrestling school. That's why I was
Your
asking how
ass
old
don't
you was.
need no damn PS5. I'm gonna tell you the truth. You don't need it.
How
You
old are you
don't
is the question.
need the shit.
That's why I'm asking how old he is because if he's not old enough to go to any of the schools he's around, then you might as well just get the PS5. But if he is old enough to do it, then go be a wrestler. Go do your dream. Try to, either get into WWE, AEW,
14 turning
Impact.
15. Oh, school is 14 and 18. How much is the cost?
I know it started at 1,000.
Shit, man, started 500, baby. But you
Mm.
know who running it? Teddy Long.
Holla,
Come on, black man.
holla.
Come on, black man.
Don about to walk in there and he could be like, Teddy Long will be like, as y'all first training, you're gonna go 1-on-1 with the
The
Undertaker.
With
Undertaker.
the Undertaker. I was like, hell no. Ain't this some bullshit?
Oh God,
See how I get
Raquel
in
and
it? I didn't even
Dakota
say
would
nothing
be
about
good
that.
with
How the
the
hell did I
titles.
get in it?
I don't want to see Raquel and team kick them all with the damn
She said, team kick them off.
stick the damn Dakota.
Raquel and Dakota with the titles. I mean, it would have been fine, at the start, but at this point now,
No, Raquel
At
needs
this
to
point,
Raquel
stop
then
Raquel.
moved on to
yeah.
her
Or,
own little
or
thing.
if you want to be real messy, let her and Rhea Ripley be a tag team. Now, I pay money to see Rhea Ripley and Raquel go up against Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler. That'd be something to see, bitch.
That would be something to see.
Okay.
I'd
Or we
like
can
that.
just replace Raquel with Nia, and then Nia can go do the edit where they have to go to the PC on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
He said it's 1,500. I told you.
15. Oh
1,500
Jesus Christ, my
for
soul.
did he say for how long? Is it like 1,500 for like 3 months, 6 months?
It must be a 6-month payout because they don't let you go there from one. I ain't never seen no school where you got to pay 1,500 a month. That's a lot of fucking money.
Kalisto and Adam Pierce went to that school. I guess. I
That's a
mean, the
lot of
school
money.
it is. The school I'm going to is new
Instead
and
of
it ran
seeing who
down.
went to that school, you should look up who the trainers are.
That
Yeah.
school, your PS5 costs a quarter of you of this school stuff, but it's a long term investment, I guess.
All
Yeah,
right. You
I would look into who the trainers are, what their accolades are, and like
What kind of coin your mama and daddy got to be paying $1,500 for you to go wrestle?
if you can go to the school, follow your dreams. Because Christmas is every goddamn year, December 25th, and it ain't going no goddamn way.
And neither is that damn PS5.
Period. That PS5 gonna be around forever until they make PS6. It's all
Period.
it's still gonna be
Shit.
good.
PS6
Shoot.
might come out next year.
Dude, no, it ain't. What you doing?
Girl, please.
They're gonna be like, we got a PS5 and a half, the PS5 Lite.
Shut up, Janae. Stupid. Baby, this ain't the car. This comes from Credit One.
Go ahead, follow your dream. Go ahead,
It's actually the car.
put yourself in the ring
Yeah, and keep us updated so I know who you are.
You
So if you do
brave?
make it to the WWE, I can boo you in the front row.
or cheer you.
Nah, I'm booing. Same thing I told Don. I said, whenever he make it big, I'm gonna be
Baby,
in that front
APR ain't
row
no different from
booing.
I definitely
yours.
want to be booed. I ain't got no problem with it. I want to be so disrespectful.
It's really not.
Y'all
Me
want
and
all the
Don just
tickets
gonna
time I
start.
can get.
I'm gonna be in the front row
Look,
booing Don, and since Don know me, he just gonna attack me, and they're gonna be like, "Why is he attacking this random
I'm gonna
person
look
in the
at you. I'm
audience?"
gonna
no,
say,
it
shut the
says
hell up.
23.9, and then it's got an annual fee.
See, we don't have any fees with the car.
Oh, hold on a second. You can get both.
You can get
Money
both.
don't grow on trees. Well, hell, you getting ready to spend $1,500 on got who buying this? Is your mama paying for this?
Can your mama give me a loan?
Shut up, Janae.
Okay, can you give me a loan too? I'm trying to go to
For
wrestling
real.
school.
You want the
I
PS5
can't.
on the
How about this? I can't go to wrestling school. Give me a PS5.
That is a lot. Like I got a question. So like, let me get this right. You can make a Christmas list, and the first thing you think of is a PS5 or wrestling. Like, is your mom a single parent? Is she working like 2 or 3 jobs to take care of you? Because I need to know some context clues. Because if I give you and say, yeah, get this wrestling school, and then your mama is working, is she a goddamn emergency responder or she on the front lines of the pandemic? I don't think that's okay. I don't think that's okay for us to be telling him to get no damn PS5 and wrestling school and you 14. Nigga, go get a job. They got work
His
permits.
mother and his stepdad.
Your mother and your stepdad, they got work permits. You're gonna have to put in on this. Get you a work permit and go work somewhere. I worked at 14. Your ass can go get a damn job. Now shit.
I ain't do nothing at 14.
I see you
I
later.
ain't did nothing at 14 but get an S curl in my head.
What
That's
was I
about
doing
it.
at 14? Oh, I think I was breaking and entering.
Other guess what your daddy do with you?
Wait, hold on. We just not gonna swim past that. You doing being easy 14?
Janae, what was you breaking and entering in?
You know she
What
was
was
a hoodlum.
what y'all talking about? We talking
You
about
just said it.
helping this young man
I
find
did
his
not.
path into wrestling
Janae
or
was
the
out here
entertainment of PS5s.
thugging at
Girl.
14.
Y'all, I didn't set a car on fire. I didn't shot somebody's car with BB guns. I'm not proud of what I've done when
Janae,
I was
I'd have
younger.
whooped your ass.
We knew she was a hood rat.
Yeah.
Well,
Not a hood
I
the
want
rat.
car
to do
one was
hood
for
rat shit with my
the
friends
car
that's
one
in the
was for
store.
insurance. So like my
That
ex
means
best
you
friend,
committed
Y'all
insurance
committed
fraud at
fraud.
14.
I got money for it.
You ain't.
She said I got a cut, so
You
no,
going to
Yeah.
jail. You
Well,
going
no,
straight to jail.
no, I can't. It's past the statute of limitations.
You petty bitch.
Well,
You.
no. Okay, let me tell you my side of the story. Okay,
Uh-uh.
so my ex best friend's dad, he was a trucker, so he knew a lot of like trucker friends, and he had this car, but he wanted to get a new car. But whatever the way his insurance was set up, he couldn't get a new car unless like it was damage of some sort. So he can get the money for that car, and they can be like, well, we can't fix the car, so we're gonna just give you the money, and then you can get another car. And so basically, we went to the car, we like popped the radio out, like broke the windows, and then we took it to this field, threw some gasoline in it, and then we set it on fire.
Why are you saying that like that's normal behavior?
I mean, it's not normal. I'm not
You literally
excusing.
committed arson, insurance fraud.
You tell me you ain't never did nothing dumb when you were younger.
I never did no shit like that that could give me actual federal time in prison.
I
Absolutely not.
I threw my clothes away.
Oh, great. And destroying evidence. Add that into that too.
Look, I am not. I did some things when I was young, and I
Still doing
realized
some things.
I know I'm not. I haven't done anything like that in a long time. So I realized it was a stupid thing to do. There was a lot of things that I could have done to better my life than where I am at now. And you learn from your mistakes and you don't make them again.
Girl, that is not a mistake. That is, you are just a criminal. You are a reformed criminal. That is the reality of this
Keyword
conversation.
reformed. Reformed. Look, you didn't got Don.
Girl.
Don didn't left because it was too much. You see what you did? You see what you did?
Don't blame that shit on me. Don't blame that shit on me. Out here committing fraud and got the audacity to be mad at me.
That was like the
ATC
worst
left
thing that
too
I've
because
done.
he was hungry. He went and got himself something to eat. He said, I got to go get me some food right quick. He just left.
I'm just trying to tell the youngsters out there with dreams and hopes of becoming a WWE or a wrestling superstar, don't make the mistakes that I did. Don't
Yeah,
set
don't
a car
go
on fire.
and
Don't
blow up a
go,
car in the middle of a field
yeah,
and bust
don't
out the windows,
don't shoot up
'cause
a car with a BB
don't
gun.
do
Don't
Grand
do
Theft
that.
Auto. Don't commit Grand Theft Auto, arson. Don't do none of that shit.
Yeah, don't be
Yeah,
like
because
me.
obviously you shouldn't do that. But I have to tell you that you shouldn't do that. Yeah.
But look where I'm at now. You can honestly say I've improved.
Wow. Yes. A grand improvement.
I'm focusing on music.
She is. True, true. Very true.
So back to Marlon, because this isn't about me. It's about Marlon and getting
Of
his dream into
course.
becoming a wrestler. So
Absolutely.
is the school 1,500 for how long? How like is it per? Is it 1,500 for like 6 classes? Is it 1,500 for like 6 months? Is it something? Because I know there's some schools where it's just like you pay a certain fee, upfront fee of like 1,500, and then you can continuously go to that school forever how long you want to, and you just have to
Ooh.
pay an extra monthly fee of
Ain't that
like
like Bella?
200 a month or something like that. And then those schools will also help you in like put you in indie events and stuff. Well, obviously, you probably won't be able to do any indie events until you turn like 18, but like you
Tell
continuously
it.
go to this school.
Okay, so Jamarian said he has a question. We're gonna wait for him to answer wait for Marlon to answer it. I have a question. Is Chad able to heel or a face? Because he was Otis tag partner tonight. I'm confused. Oh, Chad Gable is manipulating Otis in my mind. So whether he's a heel or a face is outside of my scope.
What is Chad Gable hoping to get by manipulating Otis. So I saw like a little bit of it. So where are they going with that?
I don't know. He's Coach Chad or Coach Gable. He's Coach Gable now. Like he's trying to get Otis on the right path. And I was like, I don't know how you gonna tell somebody how to be on the right path. You've been a loser your whole career since American Alpha went down.
Oh, Gable.
Ever since
Oh,
American Alpha was done, Chad didn't get no play. Then he cut his hair. I was like, okay, Chad got a nice little haircut. They gonna give him something. But then,
I'm still mad. Like the Chad Gables, the Drew Gulaks, and all of them, they're so good. The
yeah,
WWE treats them like with the most shitty. Like I'm still mad that Drew Gulak was chasing that 24/7 title after that like really awesome pro like package and promo and segments and stuff he had with Daniel Bryan.
yeah, yeah. I think Daniel Bryan was trying to get WWE to see the potential in Drew, and I think WWE is more about Drew. Um, I think in his future, I see an Intercontinental Championship. He's a good heel. As a face, I don't know if Drew works as a face, but he's very good at training people. So more than likely, Drew, because Drew's supposed to be a part of training those big dudes, on how to
Yeah, with
wrestle
Adam
better.
Pearce. Yeah,
They need to add Braun Strowman ass in there too.
they should have added Nia in there. But the thing
Well,
too is like after reading more about it, it's like I said, it seemed like Keith Lee got lumped into it just because he's a big guy.
yeah, and I think Keith Lee might be more on the helping side than he is someone who has to be retrained
Yeah, because Dio Madden, he needs to be retrained. The
desperately.
reason why Otis is being retrained is because there were certain times in the ring he was doing things that weren't safe.
Yeah,
So that's
which
why
is
he's
fine.
going back to be retrained. Who else was it?
Uh,
Otis,
um,
Dio, Keith. Yeah,
Dabakato, him. They gonna do Jordan, the dude that's with AJ Styles. I'm like, tell AJ Styles thick ass to train him. Shit, y'all gotta
yeah.
run around like his little goddamn bitch boy for the next. I'm so
I
sick of
know
seeing.
Arturus, he was supposed to do that too, but he's injured, so he can't do that right now. But he was supposed to be part of that group too.
Yeah, but he can't.
Yeah, but like Nicole was saying, it's not necessarily a bad thing because I kept reading a bunch of comments like Keith Lee, Otis, this person, and this person. It's just like with them going back to the rest to wrestling, and then you look at who's teaching them stuff. It's not necessarily saying that Vince thinks that they're crappy wrestlers. If they're sending Drew Gulak back, and Drew Gulak is more known for his like technical wrestling, it may be just little things here and there that he thinks they need to work on. It's not saying that they're just a crappy wrestler because of that. Otis was on TV today.
Yeah, yeah. I think that Drew's gonna be one of the guys helping them train. He's one of the trainers. It's Drew and Adam Pierce. Pierce is a big guy, and Pierce wrestled before, so Pierce knows how to move in the ring as a wrestler. I honestly don't think Keith Lee is being put there because he's had dangerous spots or because he is unsafe in the ring. I really think that Keith is being lumped in because he can help.
Yeah, and then if you also think about it, the fact that they're putting Dio, Daba, and some of these back into training, that means Vince wants to use them. He wants to put them on TV.
Yeah, but you could have did that before you put them on TV.
That is
Like
true.
you
That
could
is
have
true.
had D.D.O. Madden retrained before you brought his ass up into Retribution. I don't understand. In the beginning, it made sense. Y'all was trying to, figure out a way to utilize Retribution in a way that would work. It seemed like when they were on SmackDown, they had better direction than they did when they got to Raw. It just
Hmm.
went in complete chaos. But y'all had plenty of time. Don't act like you didn't have time, bitch. The world has stopped by the time y'all brought Retribution in. So it wasn't like you didn't have time to fix this and make this work. You chose to ride the wave of the anonymity of it and the craziness of it. And instead of doubling down and planning this out so it would work out for you later on in the end, you let the hurt business eat them alive, which literally took all of the wind out of their sails. and nobody believed anything that was coming out of Ali's mouth after that. It was just like, you have no more credibility in this particular capacity unless y'all somehow grinding had them winning matches. And we're not just talking about Ali winning matches, we're talking about the team winning matches and actually having solidarity, and then going back to the Hurt Business and beating down the Hurt Business.
The thing with the WWE that bothers me is, like, the saying, think before you speak. I feel like they speak and then they think about the consequences later. So they'll just throw someone on TV and then realize, oh yeah, we fucked up. Maybe we should send them back to do some training. It's like, sometimes I would rather have you have all your ducks in order before you present them, instead of just throwing a bunch of random shit out there with like no thought process behind it.
Right. So hopefully this retraining will work for these guys, but y'all need to do Braun Strowman's thick ass too.
See, I like Yabba Dabba Doo just because when he first came out to face Kevin, what?
That's not his name.
I used to call him Barney Rubble.
No, not KO.
Oh.
Not KO. Dabba Kato.
See, you can't even say it. You said Dabba Kato. You said Dabba Kotex.
When I hear his name, I hear Yabba Dabba Doo because that's what she calls him. And no.
It's either Yabba Dabba Doo, Yo Gabba, whatever.
His name is Dabba Kato or Kato. I can't.
I'm just gonna call him Dab as I dab.
His name is Dabba. I wish you would.
So I'm just going Dabby. I'm gonna call him Dabby. So when Dabby came out during that segment on Raw to face KO, I like the presence he had, the way that he talked, the way that he used his native language. I didn't know what he was saying.
That's why they don't know how to say his name. Janae. Look at this man's real name. Hold on. He gonna freak out. Look at this.
Hold on, let me take my glasses off and squint. Babatunda, wait, hold on. Babatunda Lucas Ayigabagusi. Wait, Ayibusi. Boosie. Wait, put it back.
Janae, quit chatting. You supposed to say the voice.
Hold on. Babatunda Lucas Yagabusi. Oh shit, my lights just flickered.
Done.
My lights just flickered. My lights just flickered. Hold on. Babatunda Lucas Ayibagusi.
He's from Poland.
I think I just summoned a demon. Hold on. Dear Lord.
He used to play with the Minnesota Vikings in 2015. And he is Polish and Nigerian.
Okay, so yeah, I think he was speaking Nigerian, but I like his character. He seems very hard-hitting, and I think they can do really good things with him. They were just like, here, go on Underground and flail your arms around a little bit, and then he got drafted to Raw, and then they're like, go face KO, and then we just never seen him again.
Michael Bivens would be a good manager for him. Malcolm Bivens, he'd be a good manager for him.
It seems like he's trying to train. So the guy that came in to beat up, I think it was Banjo Boy on NXT. We thought it was that Anthony Green dude. It was some other guy named Justin Taylor or something.
Yeah.
And I guess Malcolm
is gonna be his new manager. I saw that.
Yeah.
I did.
Because he wasn't working with Indus Sher. It didn't make sense because Indus Sher seemed like a little bit too serious. And then it was just like Malcolm's more of that comical manager who can also be serious if need be. It didn't match. It didn't match very well. Oh, supposedly Damian Priest has broken ribs. I mean, I know it's not true, but
yeah, I posted it. That's what their NXT injury report was this week. They talked about Candice's broken arm and that punk ass trophy they gave. Let me tell y'all something. That punk ass trophy they gave Candice, that shit. If I was Shotzi, I'd blow that shit up.
That's one of those trophies like your little nephew get for coming in last at the race.
India Hartwell standing like she finna pass out. You got ass tickler standing in there.
His arms look like he injects them with vegetable oil.
What?
Have you ever noticed his arms are so big compared to his body? It's like he skips leg day, ab day, neck day, and just works on his arms.
Austin Theory is a nice looking dude. He's just a dick.
He's
And I'm
balding
just
though.
and he like to play with his own asshole. So
You know, I'm never going to judge a tickler. If that's what you like to do.
okay. You
Tickle
didn't see
away.
what I saw. That wasn't just a tickle.
No, I saw it. Trust me, I saw that. I saw the ricochet. I saw it. He was digging for gold. Trust me, I saw it.
Period. And that's the whole period. They was going at it. I said, okay, get your life, hunting. Mm.
But
The only reason why I mess with Austin Theory like that is because he got popped online for talking to little girls. If he wasn't talking to little girls, I wouldn't mess with him like that.
yeah, my thing is if they're gonna use the Garganos to put over Indy, and let's take away from what Tickler Theory did, I'm fine. I just don't think Gargano needs the North American title for that. And I see why they gave it to him because they're moving Priest up to the main card. But you also could have left that belt off of on Leon Ruff, or at
You
least
can have it
have
on Raw. And had Bronson Reed
have Bronson. Where
come
is
back
Bronson
and
Reed?
take it off him. Where is he?
I need to go find out. Let me go find out where the hell Bronson Reed is because
Where is my thick boy? You could have gave the title to Ciampa and let Ciampa do it. Like Ciampa ain't doing shit. Or let Thatcher have the title. Thatcher's there. You did not have to get that shit to fucking Gargano. Alfalfa and Darla don't need nothing. They getting on my goddamn nerves. I'm tired of both of them. I'm sick of them. They irritating me.
and like I understand certain people don't want to move up to the main roster. Like I wouldn't want to move up to the main roster, but there's gonna come a point in time where you can't keep showing the same people. Eventually, the new class has to come in for NXT. And if you still don't want to move to the main roster, then you need to move to the back and start putting over people, putting other people over, or maybe do like a be like a production creative person. But there's a lot of people in NXT that don't want to move over, and I understand the main roster is pretty shitty, sans somewhat SmackDown as far as like how they book certain people, yes. But it's gonna come to a point where it's like you either move over or you go to the back.
Girl, at this point, you have to think NXT moved pretty well when it came to transitioning out champions or moving them out of title contingency and possibly moving them over to a new show or letting them fall into the mid card. They did not always, there was no, it was a nice flow to how the champions moved. It was a
Mm-hmm.
funnel. You started out in NXT, you might have been there for maybe 2, 3 years, and then you got your walking papers. They was like, okay, onto the main roster you go. Or, let's take a break. You don't want to go to the main roster. Okay, great. You'll be back here in NXT, causing havoc or whatever. Johnny Gargano hasn't done that. Gargano has been in title contingency more than most people have. Gargano has been champion more than most people have. And he's staying in NXT, which is fine, but you don't need to be champion to be in
No,
NXT.
he
There are
doesn't.
other people who can do your job better than what you're doing because you're not a heel. You're just fucking annoying. You and your little frosted haired wife, y'all getting on my goddamn nerves. That's
Yeah, and
when
that's
y'all come on TV, I just mute it. I don't even pay attention to your punk ass.
and that's what I'm saying. It's just like you have certain like Johnny Gargano doesn't want to move over. Um, Ciampa doesn't want to move over, in which I understand. Rhea Ripley, she doesn't want to go over. And again, I understand that you don't want to go to the main roster
But
because
you
you
shouldn't
feel
be in
like,
title contingency.
yeah,
You
because you
don't need
feel like
title.
you should be lost in the shuffle. Am I happy Ember Moon is back in NXT? Yeah,
I
because they
am.
did her dirty on the main roster. Do I think she deserves at least one more title reign? Yeah, I do. But at the same time, she's also putting other wrestlers over. So it's like as long as you're putting other wrestlers over, like I always use Sasha Banks as an example because she's a good example to where she can put wrestlers over even when they lose. I don't
Yeah.
see that with Johnny Gargano. I kind of see that with Ciampa. I don't see that with Johnny Gargano. I feel like anytime you go up to Johnny Gargano and you lose, you don't get anything out of it. He gets a win. He looks like the dominant one, and you just look like you lost to Johnny Gargano.
Thatcher got something out of losing to Thatcher got something out of losing to Champa. There's a whole feud going on, and I'm pretty sure Thatcher's gonna come out winning that feud because
Mm-hmm.
Champa is not about himself. He knows that his time being a wrestler is dwindling, as is Gargano's. I don't care what nobody say. Is he a great wrestler? Yes, he's one of the best, as is his wife. His wife, Candice, is one of the best wrestlers they have in the women's division, just in wrestling, period. She's one of the best. But character wise, they are not good. They're
No.
not good. And they're not fun to watch. Let's put it this way. Put it into perspective, right? Finn is starting to fall in that category for me too. When you look at the heels that we used to have compared to the heels that we have now, Gargano is not even close to where the Miz is as a
Nope.
heel. The Miz has that way of delivering where yes, he is reaching, yes, he's over the top, but he is selling what he believes is his it factor. Johnny Gargano is just a lot of mouth and a lot of fluff, and he's corny. He's not a good heel. His
He's really
wife,
not.
his wife being a heel to me, it doesn't fit Candice. I mean, Candice being a face is not the greatest thing either because Candice comes across very almost personality, no personality at all with Candice. As a heel, you get something from her. She speaks well. She can make sure you know where she's coming from. I like Candice to an extent, but the whole poison pixie shit where she coming out like she a goddamn ballerina about to do a goddamn pirouette in the middle of the ring. I know, bitch. And then
And the thing
your
about it too,
husband. Then you got India Hartwell. She don't know how to talk. She a mute. So she just standing there. And then you got Austin Theory. Look like he finna bend over and show the world all he got to offer. I just this whole thing for me don't work. Now let's look at it from a realistic perspective. It gives India Hartwell some shine because she haven't been getting her. It puts Austin Theory somewhere where he's not getting on folks' nerves and he kind of has something to do. It gives Johnny Gargano some elevation because he was squandering for a little bit, I guess. And then it allows Candice to possibly go after that title for the 85th time. I honestly don't want to see Candice LeRae go after that title again. And then this final time, she somehow wins it from Io Shirai, and everybody's happy because all of the Garganos got all of the gold. Okay.
yeah, see,
That,
I don't like that at all. Like I said, Johnny Gargano. Here's my thing. Character wise, I don't like Candice's character. It's bad. It's shitty. Wrestling wise, Candice is a very good wrestler. A very good wrestler. She can hang with the men. If anyone hasn't seen her intergender matches or just her matches on the indie scene, go back and watch those. She's a very good wrestler. Johnny Gargano, he's a good wrestler, but at the same time, his character does nothing for me. And what makes me upset with Johnny Gargano is he doesn't want to go to the main roster, not because, he doesn't think physically he can do it like Ciampa. Ciampa has said he can't go to the main roster because his body could not handle it. And that I
the schedule
totally understand.
delay for
Yeah,
him.
I
Yeah.
totally understand that. And I get that. The reason why Johnny doesn't want to go because he knows, we all know, the minute he hits that main roster, he's not going to be the same Johnny Gargano you see in NXT. He would be maybe mid card at best.
Which is where he
Maybe.
needs to be.
Like I definitely don't see him with the main title. I definitely don't see him with the US title. I don't I if he has the an intercontinental title, he would just be a transitional champion.
Now, see, here's where I differ. Here, I'll get to you in a second, Jamarius. Here's where I differ. I don't think Johnny Gargano will be squandered on the main roster. I honestly think Gargano is very sufficient in surviving on the main roster. However, Gargano's too afraid to roll the dice, so he doesn't want to go. But if it was me, I'd go collect my check and go to the main roster. I would First of all, I would go to SmackDown. Gargano would fare better on SmackDown than he would on Raw. Think about how the roster is stacked. Raw has most of the big men in the company, damn near all of them. Outside of Big E and Corbin, they got all of the big guys over there. So I don't see how it wouldn't fare better for Gargano to be on SmackDown than it would for him to go to Raw. Furthermore, SmackDown is a little more friendly to the smaller guy, and it works for him. It would work out in his favor. Then think, I don't think Daniel Bryan, when he decides to finally retire, I don't think he's going to leave completely. I
No.
think he'll be a part of backstage and creative. Daniel Bryan is an advocate for guys who look like Rey Mysterio, guys who look like him, guys who look like Drew, and he will do what is necessary to push forward the narrative to get them out there. I think if Gargano had a little bit more, I mean, I guess you could say if the track record of NXT guys going up isn't great. Thinking about Aleister Black, they wasted Aleister Black. They didn't give Black his just due. He thinks they may do the same to him because Vince doesn't care for his size of wrestler. I think by the time Gargano actually comes up, Vince McMahon is probably going to be phased out. I don't see Vince McMahon being a part of creative in that regard anytime soon because
Because I'm saying, as long as Vince is there, I just don't see Gargano having that same limelight as he does in NXT.
if they could do it for Daniel Bryan, they can do it for Gargano.
But
If they
would
can
they
do
do
it
it
for
for
Miz,
Gargano?
they can do it for Gargano. I feel like it's all about who you are as a person and what you're willing to do. Miz used to have to go backstage and cuss people out just so the Intercontinental Championship can be seen on TV, just so storylines could be done for his championship. And this was during a time where the roster was very even and it was more smaller guys than it was bigger guys on the roster, and yet he still had to fight to have his championship seen on television. So it isn't really about his size, it's more about what you bring to the table and what you're willing to do. Because if you got the chops, then you got to open your mouth and you got to say something. Vince will respect that you are trying. But if you just going to go there and be like, well, they're supposed to take care of me, then bitch, you're not gonna get nothing. Closed mouths don't get fed. And I ain't saying Vince McMahon right, because he's wrong about how he books his talent, and he's wrong about the type of wrestler that should be seen on television, because you should be showing variety, you should be showing diversity. Because I'm sorry, but watching two big men fight that can't really wrestle well isn't appealing. Braun Strowman isn't the greatest wrestler, and if you put Braun Strowman and fucking Dabba in a match, that shit is not gonna hit. We gonna be sitting here like, what the fuck is this shit?
Oh, do you remember? I remember this match because I was laughing at how bad it was. It was Mark Henry versus who was the big dude with the blonde mohawk? The big black dude with the blonde mohawk, and he came out in the Missy Elliott
Vader.
Vader, yeah. He did. He came out in that
Viscera. It was Viscera.
Viscera. He came out in that Missy Elliott. I can't stand the
Stop. No.
rain. Do you remember the match they had and how people were yelling it was boring?
Yes, I remember that. It was boring.
I remember like
It's not
it
a
was
good
so
thing.
bad. I was cracking up laughing when I forgot how old I can't remember what year that was, but I was
It was
watching
a while ago.
wrestling and I remember that match and I remember they just kept running the ropes and slamming their bodies into each other and people
Yeah.
were like boring, boring, and I started
Boring.
chanting. It was so bad.
Do you think the Undisputed Era should go to the main roster? Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I
they need to
truly
go.
believe that they need to go to save the damn tag team division. But not only that, but so Adam Cole can be on TV. Please.
I may be biased, but I kind of want them on SmackDown.
I want them on Raw. I think Cole being on Raw is better. And even though him being on SmackDown is okay, with Roman there, I don't see Roman relinquishing that title for another year. He is going to be Universal Champion for the entire year of 2021. Mark my fucking words. I'm
Oh,
telling you.
You know they're not dropping that title off of Roman. Here's the thing. This Roman is probably the best Roman I've seen. This is the Roman that they should have been having years ago, and they didn't do it.
It is my birthday.
It's
Your birthday.
9:12 Friday over here, so it's not your birthday yet.
This bitch.
Hey, Eastern time zone. Get off that shit. It's 12 o'clock over here.
Petty ass bitch.
Tomato. It is 9:13. She will get her happy birthday in under 3 hours.
I am sick of her. I'm sick of her. Roderick Strong says he doesn't want to go up to the main roster because if he thinks if the team breaks up, he won't last. I think Roderick Strong's sentiments about the main roster is very true. And he should feel that way because he won't last. Roderick doesn't have the personality to
Nope.
hang on the main roster as, say, O'Reilly or Fish or Cole. He doesn't have it. He's, in terms of characters, he is the weakest link when it comes to Undisputed Era. And that's why he won't last on the main roster. So his fear is legitimate. It is absolutely
Like,
legitimate.
even though I hate Fish is a QAnon believer, Trump, well, outside of that, Fish and O'Reilly would be an amazing tag team on the main roster. You couldn't put them on the main roster and not give them the belt within at least 6 months or so. Like
They
you
need
wouldn't
the bill.
you would have to put the belt on them because when they have their matches, they're the type of wrestlers that when you put them in the ring with any tag team, it's magic. It's a good
Yes.
match, regardless of who you put them in. You could put them in a ring with Everrise, and it will still be a good match. Adam Cole, he has good matches. Again, you can put him in the ring with anyone, and he's the kind of person that he will make you look good even if you lose. Roderick Strong is just kind of like it works for NXT, but on the main roster, Roderick Strong just doesn't work as a singles competitor. It just
He's
really
not going
doesn't.
to translate well on the main roster.
No, he would be
Um,
the guy that would run and chase the 24/7 title.
right, like Roderick is a great wrestler. He has amazing skill when it comes to wrestling, but his character is lacking and Roderick just it's not believable what he does. Like the stuff that he said, it always sounds like a little kid is talking and I don't it doesn't resonate well. So Roderick won't translate well. Fish and O'Reilly will translate well, and if you split them up, I don't think Fish would continue to wrestle, but I do think O'Reilly would, and I think O'Reilly would fare just fine on the main roster without Undisputed Era as his backing. He proved that when he went up against Finn Balor at Takeover. What was it, 36 or something like that?
Take over third.
Yeah, it was Takeover 30. Child, I done added 6 years to take over. Anyway, Adam Cole is Adam Cole. Like Adam Cole, WWE really, really got lucky when they obtained Adam Cole. Because Adam Cole could have very well went to AEW.
Mm-hmm.
And we would be lost. So Adam Cole being a part of WWE is one of the smartest decisions that Triple H has ever made. And him having Undisputed Era, of course, they've become an iconic team. They're an iconic duo. They're similar along the vein of what the Shield was to the main roster a few years ago, what the Four Horsemen were. Every generation has their stable, and this generation has Undisputed Era. It just is what it is. Adam Cole will never ever be somebody who will just sink into the fourth in the background. He's always gonna be a top billing star because he has everything from skill to personality. He can build his character, whether he's face or a heel. He's great at what he does. That match that he put on last year against Daniel Bryan is
So
what
good.
solidified it for me. Because you have to think There was no preparation and there was no time for them to practice their moves. So everything had to flow. Now, case in point, that match before where Ciampa was going up against Miz, that wasn't such a good match.
No, it
Okay.
wasn't.
But the reason why is because they didn't have an opportunity to get that match clean. So the transitions were clean and everything. They had to really fight. You put Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan in a match and it was off the cuff. There was no lead up for that. And that was still one of the best matches of 2019. I will argue you to the ground if you say it wasn't. It most definitely was.
That to
It
me
was
was match
great.
of the year.
It was great. And it was so good because they did not have time to make that match, to practice it, so they knew what their moves were. They didn't have time for that. They're like, look, we got to put some matches on. They not here. Look, get out there and can you do a match? Daniel like, sure. Let's go. They go out there and put on one of the best matches ever. I'm like, well, if y'all can do that with no training and help, then shit. Let's
Because my
do
thing,
it.
there's wrestlers out there that are so good that are just so good in just wrestling in general and how to be a good ring general and how to feed off their opponent. They don't have to prep because they can feed off each other and give you good matches. Then you have some where it's just like, well, we probably should have practiced. And my thing is like, for me, I would rather take a wrestling show that has like the New Day versus Hurt Business, that match they had on Raw, the Daniel Bryan versus Adam Cole match, like those matches that are maybe like 15, 20 minutes that are really good. I would rather you have like three of those matches, have really good segments to promote storylines, than have some random matches that end in 5 minute like DQs,
Or
um,
roll up.
or roll ups that they just don't make any sense, or it's like, oh, we have a tag championship match on a pay-per-view, so we'll have a singles match with both of the tag teams where one singles person from the team will face that one person, and the next week we'll have the other two tag match single competitors face each other that week, and then we'll do the pay-per-view that following Sunday. Case in point, next Friday, Street Profits and Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler are going to have a tag team championship match on SmackDown.
Why? They're gonna probably end up having a match at TLC.
My thoughts exactly. They already had Montez Ford against Dolph Ziggler tonight, and and that's another thing that I don't like is that, and for them to be like, oh, this is the way we're going to book our championship match. We're going to have the opponents beat the champion in a non-title match to be like, now I get a tag, now I get a title match, instead of just saying I won a bunch of matches.
Well, that's what they did with Hurt Business.
Yeah, and they're doing a title tag match at the pay-per-view with the Hurt Business versus New Day. They had the match. Hurt Business lost. Then they ran back a singles match with Xavier Woods and Cedric. Cedric won. Then they ran Kofi against Shelton. Kofi won.
Shelton
Then they
lost.
ran, yeah, and they ran
And then Cedric went up against Kofi and he won. I was just like,
and now they're doing the tag match. And that's one of my things where it's just like, and it's not even like a pin win. It's like it's a roll up win. So it's just like, okay, Dolph and Robert Roode and Street Profits are having a little back and forth. They do a non-title tag match. Dolph rolls up Montez, wins. Then the following week they have a singles match with Montez and Dolph. Dolph wins, and then it's just like, now we're gonna have a championship match the following Friday, which is going to end in a DQ, and then we're gonna run it back again on Sunday. And that's why you see why I keep count of how many times someone goes against each other. Like they literally had who was it? Who's my chocolate cupcake man? What's his name?
this bitch.
Why am I forgetting his name? I'm just thinking of
Not the chocolate
Apollo Crews. Apollo
Oh my
Crews
god.
in
Where
the
is
first,
he? He hasn't been seen since he moved to SmackDown.
he was on I saw he was on SmackDown tonight promoting the I Am Sami Zayn shirt, which it actually looks so good. It's really shitty, but it looks so good. But yeah, he's on SmackDown just kind of like doing the same. It's like once Paul Heyman was no longer like in charge of Raw, all the people that Paul Heyman brought in for you to like
They just pushed
see,
them to the wayside,
push them to
honey.
the back. You don't see Humberto Carrillo anymore. You don't
I forgot
see,
Umberto worked there. Shit.
yeah, you don't see him anymore. Aleister Black is nowhere to be found.
Well,
Apollo
Alistair
Crews.
ain't nowhere to be found because he wants to go back to NXT and they won't let him.
The thing was though, Aleister, after Heyman left, they did this thing with Aleister and like the whole Black Eye and the whole Kevin Owens thing, and then you just kind of didn't see it anymore. And Aleister Black was just like the vision and the direction that he saw himself going when Paul Heyman was in charge. It just kind of started to like take it back seat because when he was there, when Paul Heyman was there, he literally was undefeated for a whole year. Sans one match he had against, it was AJ Styles, Gallows, and Anderson. It was a 3-on-1, and he beat Gallows and Anderson, but he lost to AJ Styles. That was the only match he lost in that whole year on the main roster. And it was kind of like, well, he had to fight two other people, so it would make sense that he would lose anyway. He was
Yeah.
undefeated, and in the minute Paul Heyman was removed from his position, he just started losing.
I'm telling you, after everything went down with him,
Aleister
he
Black
was
knew,
like,
man.
he felt like the way they were booking him, it wasn't working for him. And he politely asked, I want to go back to NXT. I feel like that's a better fit for me than being here on the main roster, which I agree with him. I think
Yeah,
him going back to NXT would be epic. And I think with him and Carrying having a battle,
it'd
that
be.
should be fucking fire. Like, I'm like, WWE got to stop worrying about their main roster because it's people who want to be on the main roster and it's people who don't. Like, let them go back to NXT. Shit, y'all let Finn Balor ass go back. And to
So I'm
be
gonna play
honest, they
devil's
could have kept
advocate.
his ass on the main roster because he
I'm gonna
not
play
doing.
devil's advocate. Do I think certain wrestlers should go back to NXT? Yeah, but I don't want there to be a precedent that if you request to go back to NXT, anyone can go back to NXT. I
But
think
that's
certain
why they blocked him from going back.
yeah,
But
I
I
think
think they
certain
should
like
send him back.
yeah, I think Aleister Black should go back to NXT. I'm happy Ember Moon went back to NXT. But if you think about it, if they're just like if anyone wants to go back to NXT, state your claim, they would have a lot of people like I'll go back. I'll go. I feel like
I'm like, bitch, send me back right now because I
like
know what I'm gonna be doing in 2 months.
I feel
And
like
I told
Ali
her
would want to go to NXT. He's never been down to NXT. He would want to
they
go to
should have been
NXT.
sent Ali ass to NXT. He
I
could
think
be fucking shit up with Phantasma right now.
I think if you think about the cruiserweight division, you have Santos Escobar. You could have Ali, Aleister Black until they move him up to like the main card on NXT. You could have Humberto Carrillo down there.
Mm,
You if you're not going to use Drew Gulak in the way I think he should be used, send him down to NXT. Like
yeah,
that whole cruiserweight line would just be division would just be stacked.
it'd be fire.
It would be stacked, and we wouldn't have to worry about someone who has a number one contender title on 205 Live and the dark shows.
She be at the ready with the shade. Janae,
You can't
let
tell
it
me that.
go,
You
Janae.
can't
Let
tell
it
me that's
go.
smart. Your number one contender is on 205 Live, and the only time he's on NXT was because he was on a dark show with Ashanti the Adonis, and I think it was Tony Nese on the dark show for NXT War Games. But he's your number one contender.
Let it go, Janae. I'm telling you.
Makes no. I just make it make sense.
I can't. You gonna mess yourself up trying to make it make sense. Just let it go. I'm telling you. I'm telling you what to do.
But
Because
it's
it's
like
just going.
that's what I'm saying. Like WWE has the potential to make their brands so much better. And right now they're coasting because they're
Yeah,
comfortable where they're at.
that's
They're
what I'm saying. That is the truth.
and it's like I
100.
get you're coasting, but at some point you gotta uncoast. You gotta put put that pedal to the gas and like and do something.
Who is Kurt Stallion? Who that is? I don't know who that is.
He's the number one contender.
Oh, that's him. That's his name,
Yeah,
Kurt Stallion.
he's the number one. Yeah, he's the
Okay.
number one contender. So I'm just like, they can do so. And what I mean by they can do better, I'm not saying like they can do better because they can beat like AEW, Impact, or whatever the case may be. But just they can do better as a company, because if other independent companies that don't even have the revenue that the WWE has can do these really cool things with the revenue and the sources and the options that WWE has, they could do crazy things.
Period.
And they don't want to do it because they're fine where they're at, because where they're at for their TV shows on certain nights, they bring in the most ratings. Like Smackdown on Fox, they're literally either number 1 or 2 when it comes to viewership and overall demo between 18 and 49, which is the key demo. They're literally number 1 and 2 with their demo, so they're cool. Raw is literally in the top 5 or 6 for cable viewership and demo every single week. NXT
Sounds
demo
about
wise,
right.
they're hovering around like 20 something, but their overall viewership, it's still pretty good for the USA Network for that night. So they're coasting, they're fine. Oh, also, Kenny Omega is going to be on Impact on Tuesday. It looks like
Oh,
they're
great.
setting up him versus Rich Swann.
I don't want to watch that. Fuck Kenny Omega. Shit. Fuck him. Shit.
It seems like they might be taking the title off of Rich Swann and putting it on Kenny Omega.
I wish they fucking would do some stupid shit like that.
He's calling himself the Collector.
Okay.
Collect these nuts.
Go ahead and collect. You need to collect the damn hairstylist and fix that goddamn ragweed nest you call some hair on your head.
Like, I feel like all the AEW stands be like, oh, that'll be great. But me looking at it, I was like, what's so great about someone who already has
He
the
has the
AEW
AAA title right
Championship
now.
and the AAA title going over
Yes,
to
and
Impact and taking the Impact title off of an Impact wrestler, and he's with
for
AEW?
what? What are you doing? What? Why? For what? What are you doing that for? I don't want to see you 2 times a week. I barely want to see you the week that you be on Wednesdays. I don't want to see you on Impact 2. We watch Impact to escape all y'all punk ass motherfuckers to be on regular TV.
You know what I mean?
We
Like,
don't
it
we don't
works
want
for
to see
Impact
you.
as far as like the viewership they get, but it's like, what does it help with the wrestlers that another company's wrestlers is taking a title away from your company?
I don't think it helps with your viewership either because people are only gonna watch it if Kenny Omega is there. So you ain't doing nothing to bolster your actual show. All your shit that you doing is all about making sure AEW is shown in a positive light, but your company look like some weak bitches.
Well, I guess the plan that I've been seeing is they're using AEW. So what they're doing is they know AEW's viewers are watching, so they'll have Omega on there, but they're not really saying when Omega's going to be on there. So people are just going to watch it all the way. So they're trying to put their best wrestlers in hopes that once AEW does leave and Impact's back to just being Impact by themselves, that they retain the same viewers. And I'm just like, I don't
No.
know if that's going to work, because a lot of it, AEW people are watching Impact for Omega. They're watching because they want to see the North versus FTR. They're watching because they want to see FTR versus Gallows and Anderson, which is also one of the rumor matches that is going to happen against FTR. No, I'm sorry, the North versus the Young Bucks. So one of the rumors is the North versus the Young Bucks and FTR, and then Gallows and Anderson versus FTR. So it's just like, you're doing this because you're hoping that after, AEW goes their way, Impact goes their way, that you're going to retain the viewers. I highly doubt that's going to happen.
It's not.
You might get a slight bump, but
No,
you're not
because
gonna.
your show is not cohesive enough for that to be
No,
so. Like you always focusing, you have so many things going on Impact at one time. There's no way that one fan is gonna sit and watch everything and be okay with what they see. It's very similar to AEW. It's too chaotic and it's not structured enough for people to watch it like that. Some people like the chaos that happens on Impact. I like it. I think it's okay when it comes to certain matches and certain people, the tone of it changes. I don't have an issue with that. I can pretty much roll with the punches of what I'm seeing, but not everybody is okay with that. So I don't think for a minute that any casual fan or any hardcore AEW fan is gonna be like, "Ooh, Impact's kind of giving me what I need. Let me watch this." They're gonna be like, well, I'm cool. I got my Kenny Omega." They're gonna leave. So you're not going to benefit that much, other than you're going to get a couple pops of views, and Access is going to be like, "Well, we're going to need them in order for this to be great." Like what you need to be doing is focusing on creating the niche that you want, moving your show from Access to a bigger network. You need to either go back to Pop, the Pop Network, go to TBS, talk to TBS. Maybe you can get a slot with TBS over there, or you can go. They used to be on Spike. Spike is now Paramount. So talk to Paramount because they need help. Because all I see on Paramount is motherfucking movies all the time. They done turned themselves into a pseudo movie channel with
hmm
commercials.
did you read the thing I sent you about what JR said?
No, because I was in the kitchen cooking, baking cakes all day. I haven't even, like, there was so much happening in the group chat. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to read this. So there was so much. There was so much going on.
Hold on, let me see if I can find. He actually. So there was also the one I sent about what Meltzer and Alvarez says, and that's the only time I will agree with them because they are
Yeah,
correct. There's so many storylines going on within AEW. It's really hard to keep up with what's going on. So it's just like if you're watching AEW, you have to be watching just for the wrestling because I don't understand how you can keep up with all these storylines.
most people aren't keeping up with the storylines, which, from what I understand, everybody's only concerned with with the wrestling. And I'm like, but y'all be the main ones telling about WWE don't put enough of the story on there. And I'm like, I you they have their stories and you don't like it, but you'll watch AEW knowing that the story is crazy.
Yeah, it's like so you don't want to watch this story in WWE, but you'll be willing to watch a story about a guy upset because his arcade machine got broken. But this is what Jr. said about AEW, and mind you, y'all, Jr. works for AEW. He's a commentator on AEW. He goes, "I want somebody to prove to me that the changing of wrestling business is what it is today, and it's making a difference. I say no. I told a kid the other day at AEW that everybody does the same fucking spot. All you guys go outside, you cluster up like coils, you stand there in a huddle, friends and foes together, side by side, so you can catch some leaping idiot going over the top who never wins this move. They are looking for a holy shit chance. They love to hear this is awesome. It's a spot, folks. It's a trapeziac. I don't buy into that. The DDT is a great finish and should be used as such." And then someone commented and said, "He's 100% right though. Kicking someone in the face 5 times in a match without any kind of pinfall means that you don't kick very hard. It makes both people in the ring look like crap. The industry has devolved into 30-minute long psychology-free gymnastics, friggin' gentrified lucha libre. No wonder why the audience has shrunk to hardcores."
Ooh, child, that's ugly.
And this is JR, who works for AEW, is saying he's sick and tired of that every time on an AEW show someone does a spot fest, they're all just standing around for like 20 seconds while the person's getting ready to like jump over and take everybody out.
But when I've been saying this for months, but y'all told me that that's what they do. I said, oh, okay.
It's like if you're gonna do that, then you need to have your camera placement in a way to where the camera is focusing on the person at the top of the rope and not the group of guys that are supposed to be hating each other and fighting each other, standing around with their arms out waiting to catch you.
Right. I shouldn't see that. That was my point. I should not see that. I shouldn't see you doing that. And if it was that way, then the cameraman needs to adjust. You know what I'm saying? Like I need him to fix that.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like WWE has their moments where you'll the camera will be placed in a way where you could see people standing on the outside, but it's very rarely shown that way. Most of the time, they'll show them fighting and kind of like shoving each other, and then the camera directs itself to the person at the top of the rope, and then when they jump, then the camera goes to back to the wide shot when they land on everybody. WWE does do that, but it's not as
Yeah.
much as AEW. It's like AEW does it all the time, and I get that's their style of how they're doing it, but it's just like they're catering to the people that's just like we just want to see a bunch of spots. We don't care how it's set up, how long it takes. We just want to say a bunch of spots where you can say, "Holy shit, that was awesome."
Yeah. And I don't think you should be aiming for that.
They really shouldn't. So I'm just like, okay, if that's what you want to do. And the thing about it is when he made that comment, all the AEW fans were like, "Shut up, JR. You're old. You want things to go back to the way wrestling was in the 80s and 90s. This is how wrestling's evolving." And I agree, wrestling is evolving, but you can still make it better. Like I don't want to see like if you're at a live show and you see that, that's fine. But if this is being shown on TV, I don't want to see a bunch of heels and faces fighting each other and they're all coming together around, the ring to help catch some dude who ends up taking out everybody, including their own partner.
Girl, it's too much.
It really, really is.
I've been going for 2 hours. I'm gonna have to shut this down. I'll probably get back on live later on Instagram. So I'm going to go. I
Are you
hope
gonna
you
go back
guys.
on live on Instagram? Because I was gonna ask you about. I don't know if you answered my protective hairstyle, but if you're gonna get back on live on Instagram, I'll just bother you in the chat over there.
I'll, I'll talk to you on Instagram because I can't go for 3 hours on Instagram. All right,
Yeah.
y'all hold it down because I'll probably be back Monday and do another stream on StreamYard because it's easier and I can put everybody's questions or comments in here and I'll be on live on Instagram in about 20 minutes. So I'll talk to y'all later.
Peace up. A-Town down.
Bye.